And that threw the forwards out of kilter.
Chance Bateman picking up Leon Davis, both very good friends off the field. Of course, that is put aside for 2 hours tonight as McGough gets the handball out to Buckley. Buckley back to Wakelin, off half-back, has a bounce. He gets the lead from Tarrant. Is the kick going to be good enough? It's out in front. Lockyer's got across as well, and he takes the mark. Third possession coming up for Tarkin Lockyer. The kick is inside 50 to Rocker, out on the lead. Couldn't quite get there. It's taken to the boundary line. It stays in. Now we're close to the boundary line. It still stays in. Now it's over. Tony Jones, boundary side.
Well, Hawthorn's already had a win tonight, Eddie. This game has given them their biggest ever corporate event in the history of their club. Every room available is being used, including the Richmond change rooms you can see there. They had about 60 corporates there paying $100 a head. So the Hawkers making a bit of money on your coattails, mate.
No, that's good. I'll tell you what, Ian Dicker, fantastic president, and full marks to the board and the marketing department of the Hawthorn Football Club in working in conjunction with Collingwood on this game and reaping the rewards.
Your idea, Doom?
Oh, yeah, I'll claim it. No, they did work hard at it. Well done to the club.
Graham knocks it back to the boundary. Out yet again. Third time lucky, perhaps.
Sean Wren has taken Stephen McKee and playing across half forward, so the two nominated ruckmen you would imagine well out of the action, and it's Thompson who's doing most of the ruck work.
Fraser in front, falls behind. Tarrant, did he have the footy? Certainly had Graham. In the end, Licuria taken down by Tallis. And the umpire wants it. One goal in the game. Leon Davis on the run. Collingwood bench. Plenty of youth there. Rawlings over the top. Burns quickly away. McGough under pressure. Snaps. And misses. Well wide of the mark. To the margin 7 points.
Some good signs for the Pies at the moment. They're winning at those tight-in situations and finding the ball and giving it out to somebody with a bit of pace in space.
4.5 minutes in. The Hawks yet to get into the forward 50 or just inside. They might have gone once. 1-1-7 Magpies. Out wide to Loney. A twin on each side tonight. Nathan for Hawthorn, Ryan for Collingwood. To Leckis, who's been an excellent player for Hawthorn in season 2002.
Looking to coincide on the Hawks. Got a lot of numbers side on there. You can see them in screen.
Short chip up to Tallis. Tallis is between half-forward, half-back flank and centre wing position for the Hawthorn side. Southern stand, as you can see. Man on man. There's not much to kick to. Leads come and go. Now he gets a hurry up from the umpire.
Leckis is on, short, misses him.
Decides to go long. The thumping kick from behind. Wakelin sits. Punched by McKee. Front and square was Burns for Collingwood. Got it back to Wakelin. Around the body kicks. It's one-on-one. One of them is Rocker. One of them is Tallis. And Rocker gets to the front and does it beautifully. Handballs off to the skipper. Umpires called play on. And it's gone over the line and out of bounds. A bit ambitious there by Anthony Rocker. But a throw in once again between wing and half-forward flank for the Collingwood side.
Once again, the ball that went to half-forward. It was the Collingwood players through Burns who won the ball in tight.
Tossed in, Rocker immediately. It was the ruck work. The Theoris favoured by that. Freeborn in trouble. Holland couldn't control it. Freeborn goes again, taken down by Barlow. Cloak heads towards the boundary line and/or Burns. It's Burns on the wing, kicks it down towards half forward, but wide of the target. Intended for Lockyer, out of bounds on the full.
We have got a one-on-one contest everywhere. Hawthorn, who didn't take a contested mark inside their forward 50 last week, seem intent on manning up every Collingwood player. They're not going to allow Collingwood to have that loose player drift across half-back, which we've seen so often this season.
Hodge, wow, over the head of Tallis, taken by Barlow. Breaks away on the wing, goes down towards half-forward. The first sortie forward. Camped in front, Wren the Rover. Fell over. Over the ball, Wakelin. Ball's not coming out. At the base of the pack, McKee. And the ball up, just under 16 minutes till quarter time. Friday night football, Collingwood getting the fast start, coming off their biggest win of the season, 108 points. And they look sharp at the moment. Cloak goes high towards the boundary line. Vandenberg running out of space across the boundary line.
It's hard work out there, boys.
Well, it is. It's a dead-set contest, Eddie. I mean, so often I think what Hawthorn will be saying is we don't want Collingwood to set up from half-back and blow us out of the water early. We're happy to have a bit of an arm wrestle and make it tight in close footy.
Wren and McKee. Licuria grabs it out of the air, grabs high.
Steal.
Couldn't get the free kick there. McKee thrown to the ground by Barlow, who was hard at it in about 3 contests there, so well done to Barlow. We'll have the ball up. 55 out from the Hawthorn goals. 15 and 10 seconds left in this opening term. We've played 7.5 on the clock. 55 out from the Hawthorn goal. McKee from behind Barlow in the action again. It's pushed forward. Johnson for Collingwood. Vandenberg gets into his back, and the free kick will go to Ben Johnson. Or will it? No, we'll have a throw in.
Throw in. Reckon if the ball had stayed in, you got the free there, but the ball's been deadened by the line. It's a toss-up, one way or the other.
So throwing in the forward pocket for the Hawks, their first chance at score. McKee over the top to Lucuria, who's been very busy so far. His kick defensively finds the target. That's the boundary line for a throw in.
2 possessions for Paul Lucuria. He'll have the job on Shane Crawford running around. I reckon Crawford will come into screen any second now.
There he is. Go. So throw in with 55 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. 8.5 minutes gone opening term. Collingwood by 7 points.
McKee, William Wren to the back of the pack. Lucuria taken down immediately. Ducked his head, says the umpire. Lucuria.
Sorry, Dennis, one thing to watch here. Twice at the bounce downs now, Barlow has come through the traffic on the move. He actually starts running before it bounces.
They wrestle.
Not this time.
Slap towards the pocket, and Burns knows where the boundary line is and takes it out. Paul Lucuria, 29 possessions against the Hawks back in round 4, 37 in round 16 last season. So he gets the footy, not simply a negator.
Best tagger in the competition at the moment, probably against the best runner, so it shapes as a great contest.
Wren improvising, not 15. Vandenberg came over the top. Buckley taken down immediately. Whistle. And another ball up. This is hard work. Just over 14 minutes till quarter time, and the Magpies lead it by 7.
It's ugly, but it's good footy because it's a contest.
It's sorting people out, that's for sure. Early rounds of a heavyweight title fight. Just having a good look at each other. Ball up, Wren and McKee. Wren just tries to flick it over the top. We'll have another go here from the boundary.
I'll give you a couple of those matchups, Eddie. There's Chick and Buckley. There's Crawford and Lucuria. There's Leckus and Freeborn. And Vandenberg and Burns. So those 4 groups of players will be pivotal.
Tackles, Hawthorn 9, Collingwood 1. 4th throw in. Buckley at the back finds some space. Now the Magpies are away as Tarrant gets it on to Johnson. Johnson looks further afield and kicks it long, looking for Josh Fraser. Out they come. Fraser got hands to the ball, but it was punched away by Rawlings. Good play. Picked up by Cox, who kicks to the boundary line. You guessed it. We've got another throw in.
Clearances at the moment. Collingwood 6 clearances. Hawthorn yet to register one. So, Dermot, you're absolutely spot on. They're doing very well in these situations, the Pies.
Boundary throw in down towards right half forward. Wren looking to work in front. Directs it down. Mitchell shrugs a tackle. Gets away. Tallis off his step. Floats it down towards the attacking 50. Barlow up in front. Gets the crumb. Brown comes across. Hoisted very high. Dixon goes back. Couldn't control it. Across the line for a behind. Well rode by Brown. First score on the board for the Hawks. They trail by 6 points. The umpire again getting into a heavy explanation there. Ben Dixon kicked 5 goals in round 16 last season. 2 in round 4 of this season.
McGough's got free outside 50, other side, look for him.
Buckley scrubbed the kick and was well cut off there by Leckus. It ends up with Barlow. Here's a chance for Vandenberg, who runs hard and snaps badly, though, across the face of goal and through for 1 point.
Well, you know the next Buckley kick is going to hit the chest lace out because that happens about once a season.
Just tried to spear it 55 metres. Usually comes off for the champion.
Yeah, it does. He's an awesome kick. Outside 50 again.
This time he gives it another 55 out to Cloak. He takes the ball. Just missed the handball target, who was Wakelin, and well fought by Cox at ground level. It's held up. The umpire will bounce again at half-forward flank for Hawthorn.
Thanks, Coxie. You can already see that Collingwood's game 6-1, half a dozen the other way. You can already see Collingwood's game is a little bit stifled. They're looking good at the clearances, but they're just a touch stifled at the moment. They love to run out of their back line. They're the #1 defensive team in the comp, yet they have no real stars in their defence, Gary. So it's the way they set up.
Yeah, that spare man that we've identified so often in Friday night footy throughout the season, and they haven't got one at the minute.
Pies by 5 points. Mitchell grabbed and thrown to the ground. Tony Jones.
The flags on the main scoreboard, Eddie, indicate quite a breeze blowing down the city end of the ground, but that advantage is quite minimal down here at ground level, and quite a mild night too, so this should be quite a good game for spectators.
Thompson hooked it down. Lucuria, quick hands away to Buckley. Kicks down towards half forward, working in front. Rawlings claims the mark. A foot race to the footy. and he beat Fraser. 5 points the difference. Rawlings honours the lead from Lakers, who spilt it. Another number 37. Loney gets a hand pass to Fraser. Fraser stops, feeds it back. McGough over the top. Loney in space, can go very short and does. Close to the boundary line, held up here by Freeborn. It's about 45 metres out, right on the boundary, swung around by the umpire.
Got some creativity, Freeborn. If he gets a bit of space here, he'll widen the angle. The umpire's on a win.
Well, cameramen are going to have to move down at the boundary there, Doom. The boys taking the pictures.
There's Leon Davis. I mean, he's led well then, but at the wrong time. You can't leave while the umpire's standing between the ball.
That's not his best angle, so to speak. On the boundary in the left full forward pocket. Ben Freeborn back in the team after suspension. Just works around slightly, bends it around, and that's a wonderful kick.
Well, errors cost you. We've seen the first error that Collingwood capitalised on was Holland turning back into the centre with no real left foot. The second is Leckers coughing up a relatively simple mark. And at this level, if you make one simple error, it will cost you. It will hurt.
And Freeborn did the right thing because it is a one-on-one duel. So he summed it up. There was nothing on, went back, composed himself, kicked a terrific goal.
So Glenn Freeborn back from suspension, puts it through from 50 metres. The Magpies by 11 points. 14 minutes gone in this, the first term. Lucuria has 2 goes at it. Mitchell says you're not going to have another go, and he throws him to the ground for another bounce.
It's one of those games, Eddie, where those at home will just have to be patient because it will probably stay this way for a period of time, but eventually, because of the pace this game's played, it'll open up and some goals will be scored.
Nothing wrong with this, just another facet of the great game of Australian rules football. It was Hodge who got the kick away. I think the umpire called play on touch, so they all try to punch it away. Cloak handballs back to Wakeland, who flicks it out wide to Burns. Burns looks up and sees Tarkin Lockyer leading out to the wing. He got a bit of a shove in the back and will take the free kick. He's been unlucky there, Hodge, because Lockyer actually slipped at the vital moment, and I think he pulled up in front of him and he got a shove right in the back. Didn't matter. Free kick. McGough gets his 4th touch. Little chip over the top. Lands between a rock and a hard place, and that's Burns over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in. 55 out from the Collingwood goal. 10 minutes and 21 seconds to be right on the money left in this opening term.
A rocker in a hard place. Tossed in right on the 50. Holland thumps it away, gains about 20. Theoris over the football. Buckley arrives quickly, and out it goes. On the bounce, I'd suggest. Boundary throw in down towards left half forward for the Magpies, who lead it by 11. Goals to Davis and Freeborn midway through this opening term. Not a bad crowd. Nice night for football. Was that a push in the back? I thought so.
Push in the back.
Thank you. Holland to get the kick.
Gary Vandenberg's actually playing half-forward flank, but he's pushed up to the midfield to make the 5th midfielder, keeping Hawthorn's forward line. It's a 3-man forward line at all times.
Lays it off. Does Holland to Rawlings. Well, again, setting it up. Happened on the outer side wing. Burns over the top. That time did well. Lockyer, probing kick inside the 50. Fraser couldn't control. Holland was held. Chip paddles it towards the line, and out it goes. Boundary throw in inside the attacking 50.
I think Tarkin Lockyer is a player that gets under a lot of players' noses a bit, or guard rather. So much focus on Buckley and the likes of Burns even, who's had a great year. Lockyer just continues to win the footy.
Good mark by Burns. Terrible kick coming out. And Collingwood get a free kick. It's going to Davis.
You can't quite hear what Brett Allen's...
Let's play the footy. You're hanging on it. Yeah, I will have a look. Well, maybe we do it. Your arms wrapped around him.
There you go. Simple as that. You had your arms wrapped around him. Let's hope the umpires are consistent with that ruling throughout the night.
Yes. Brett Allen making the explanation there to Chance Bateman. Bateman's biggest crime was, I suppose, to have watched the previous 18 weeks. There's Davis. Just inside the 50. Misses near side.
That's a good point you make, Dennis. So if there's been a change in the philosophy to that rule, all good and well. I hope the players have been made aware of it, and we just call for some consistency.
Yes, more the adaptation of the rule, because the rule is you can't hold. We all know that.
Yep,
but,
exactly.
Boy, it doesn't matter what. Depends what part of the ground you're on. Now Now, this is a dangerous bounce, but Barlow did well. He took it on the bounce, controlled it, and then kicked beautifully around the body to Tallis. Hawthorn building something here. Tallis stops, then runs around Fraser. Kicks to the forward 50. They've got one away here. Cox, he went one-handed. Lucuria didn't stop, went straight at him. Got the handball off to Loney. Now it's McKee. McKee to Batheris, who goes for the big torpedo. Out to the wing position. The race is on. Holland is out in front of Rocker. Holland will get there first. Rocker will go hard at him, and to the boundary line they both go for a throw-in on centre wing.
Well, the Hawks haven't taken a contested mark inside 50. I think there was an opportunity for Simon Cox on that occasion to take just a solid mark inside 50. One-handed wasn't good enough.
8.5 minutes left in the opening term. Collingwood by 2 goals. McKee gets the tap. McGough picks it up. Handballs. There's black and white everywhere here. One of them is Batheris. He goes for the runner in Loney. He loves a bounce. He loves to run, and he's got a big left foot. The whatever I was saying there was the chip kick to Leon Davis, who couldn't quite hold it. But the ball comes back. Buckley dives at it, knocks it forward. A chance for Batheris again. Good play there for Hawthorn by Graham. Put his body on the line. They're both over the ball. We'll have a bounce 25 metres out.
Didn't think it was that bad of a kick, to be honest.
No, I thought it wasn't. Don't know if my tongue was tied or just my heart was yelling there. And Buckley on the half volley just couldn't quite hold it. Ball up 25 out from the Magpie goal.
Collingwood doing most of the attacking. Rocker cleverly slapped out of there though by Holland. Tallis did well, knocked it down. Hodge tried to soccer it forward. Batheris gets a hand pass away, taken by Buckley. In fact, it came from McGough. Kicked inside the 50. Lucuria over the outside of the boot. Rawlings in the road though. Holland in the back pocket, relieves the pressure. Long kick up towards the wing, coming across. Barlow almost controlled by Brown. Chick hurriedly jammed it on the boot, down towards half forward, going back with a flight of a Cox, and that's a wonderful mark.
Redeemed himself, Simon Cox. That was the sort of thing that Tony Woods would be hoping to see from his teammates. Here's the one that probably, well, maybe it's a little bit harsh. You need to get back a little bit hard and get 2 arms up at least, but on that occasion you couldn't question it.
Yeah, I called a couple of weeks ago. He's a beautifully accurate kick, Dennis, and but not a long one, and he pumped it about 55-60. He admits he's not an overly long kick, but he makes a liar of us whenever we speak to the contrary.
Right on the 50. Has it got the carry? Yes, it has. But wide of the target. Margin 11 points. Collingwood on top.
Campbell Brown going through hard there on Batheris. Good physical contest within the 5 metres.
Rupert going hard on him.
Yep, good play. So 6 minutes and 40 left in the opening term. Ben Johnson runs out. Wasn't watching. He's got.
Well, that is a very, very clear case of not knowing your opposition. Because if there's one player in the AFL that you don't take on, it is that man. He might only have 9 fingers, but he'll get a good hold on you. And he's the best tackler going around, Daniel Chick.
And Ben Johnson just a lapse in concentration there. He actually didn't get the full speed quickly enough. And the tackles are 14-3 Hawthorn's way.
You saw the purchase he gets, the way he digs in, and he actually accelerated through the turn as Johnson tried to run the angle on him.
Hawks are 3 behinds. Collingwood are 2-2-14. The margin 11 points. Just to make it 5. Daniel Chick has kicked 27 goals, 10 this season, so he's a pretty accurate kick when he gets the chance. 155-70 career goals is a great return. Right behind him here at the MCG, kicking to the city end. Daniel Chick comes in, and the kick is on its way. It's drifting and hits the post.
He's got the job on Nathan Buckley tonight, Daniel Chick. He has had 4 kicks already for the night. Nathan Buckley, at this stage of the game, has had 3 kicks and a handball. So possession's equal. The goal would have tilted it in his favour at this stage. Not
one Collingwood player has a target's within 25, although Clement's run down there now for the option. They're all outside 50. One up the middle.
A mature celebration there. Presta Giacomo. Buckley swings it out very wide. Pinpoint accuracy required. This is Freeborn, hard against the line.
Cloak's broken the line ahead of play.
Magpies by 10 points. Under 6 minutes till 3/4 time. Rocker on a searching lead. Marks forward of the wing. They're moving it nicely. 14 plays 4. Now, some hesitation. There's Tarrant. Offers a lead. Half-hearted initially. Now he starts to sprint. Goes wide of him. In fact, in behind him. There he is. Cox runs past him, having taken the mark, and kicks towards the outer side. Dixon, a chance, arches the back, slips away from Rocker, comes back towards the middle. Will it get there in time? Yes, Thompson. Dragged inside the 50. He marked it outside by a couple of steps. Wants the mark.
Dixon's on.
Still on.
Well, that's a good adjudication by the umpire. There's been some weeks this season when that would have been 50 because he took the mark and then he took him down. But that's the way we know football. That's a good umpiring decision.
Michael Malthouse down on the boundary now. Thompson honours a lead towards the opposite pocket. Awkward one for Dixon. He's into his finishing move before the ball arrived. Now Wakeland tries to tread the lad fantastic around the boundary. Nothing doing. Took it out. Boundary throw in.
It's an interesting one. Shane Crawford yet to touch the footy. Paul Acuria had it 5 times. I just wonder, with maybe 4 or 5 minutes to go, whether it'd be worth Crawford running with Buckley just to see what happened with Lacuria, just to get information into the Hawthorn box.
Crawford's actually playing half-forward flank like Vandenberg and then pushes up into the midfield.
Umpire gave Shane Wakeland a lecture about handing the ball back to the boundary umpire. Betheris attacks it hard. Cox does it well to Tallis, to Mitchell, to Loney, who just dropped the ball at the vital moment. He got it back to Crawford. Crawford handball over the top. A chance for Brown, who goes wide. The kick was off target, as you can see. So Holland will reload. 75 out for the Hawthorn side. He kicks to the pocket and getting across and marking and doing it well was Angelo Leckis under pressure from Cloak. Leckis, hard up on the boundary line, is 55 out by the time he takes his kick.
You look at this setup by Collingwood again. They put men between the 50 and the goal square and they block up any lead.
Plays on, tries to run round Cloak. He gets pushed off the ball. The kick is to the hot spot. Bravery required here, but a beautiful mark by Brown over the top. Jumped all over Betheris, who was backing back with courage. But Brown will line up for goal, and a vital goal this will be for Hawthorn.
Yeah, you watch Betheris there, eyes on the ball. And that's a gutsy effort by him. He cops one in the back of the head on the way down.
Campbell Brown. Campbell Brown, I reckon. He can run with a play, can play half-back, and that is a good jump at it.
Good grab.
In his 9th game of football, he has kicked 5 goals straight in his career at Hawthorn so far. In his debut season, he comes in from 40 metres out directly in front, and he keeps his clean slate as far as points. Exactly that. That's his 6th and Hawthorn's first tonight.
He's done a couple of things already tonight that catch the eye. Campbell Brown, certainly that mark. There was a very slick handball out on this wing before, which was lightning. And he also crumbed a footy and got it onto his boot super quick as well and got it forward. So there's a lot to like about this young bloke in his first year.
Yeah, look, if you wanted to be in a jumper at the moment looking for the win, you'd say Collingwood have controlled most of the quarter. But for the last 7 or 8 minutes, the Hawthorn have started winning the ball through the midfield.
Magpies by 4 points, approaching quarter time.
Crawford in the middle.
Wren knocked it down on the way down. McGough. McKee in trouble, taken front on by Wren.
Who just coughed that up, McKee?
Brown taken down by Buckley. Ball up alongside the centre circle.
It's the old Clint Eastwood rule, Gary. You're a ruckman and you get the ball at what you think is in space in the middle of the ground. You throw it on your boot. You don't try and run away from the congestion.
1.5 minutes till quarter time. Wren. Loney's got the run of it. Brown charges in, enjoying a good 5 minutes here. Wrestle to the ground. Another bounce down towards half forward. So they're eking out the metres at the moment, the Hawks. Took the ball and then was prepared to take on Loney. Here's the bounce, still inside the centre square. McKee hooks it down. Vandenberg came hard. Check at close quarters. Wren falling to the ground. Coughed it up. Cloak under pressure. Kicks it out towards the wing. Awkward bounce. Beat them all except Lockyer. Ran onto it. Runs to 50. Fires at goal. And misses to the near side.
Well, that was disappointing by Lance Piccioni and well done by Lockyer. They were standing shoulder to shoulder when the congested play was in progress, and he just simply ran into a dangerous space, Lockyer, and Piccioni didn't go with him.
Pies by 5 points. Kick out. 3 on 2 here. Graham needs to mark. Free kick to Collingwood, though. Betheris copped it in the back.
Gee, he didn't need that, Nick Holland. He's got height over Rupert Betheris.
No one on the mark, and Betheris takes off. Goes short, looking for Tarrant. It's over his head. At the back, Crawford waits. Joni under pressure, back to Crawford, who breaks 3 tackles, make it 4. Beautiful play by the skipper. To the middle of the ground was an ordinary kick, but the Hawks get a good bounce. Crashing through was Johnson. Head over the ball was Cloak. Out to Lucuria. Lucuria back to Clement. Breaks the tackle to Freeborn, who kicks luckily to Johnson from 55. Johnson goes out wide. Beautiful kick. And Alan Didak will line up on a good angle for a left footer, 45 metres out.
Yeah, that was great vision by Ben Johnson, because Daniel Chick, if you looked at the replay when it comes back up again, made a beeline for him, and Johnson would have thought, I'm about to get cleaned up here, but he kept his eye on the ball and punched it through to the target.
Alan Didak has kicked 14 goals for this season for the Magpies. This is his 19th game of football. He has a career total of 17 goals for. Reverse angle here. You be the goal umpire from 45 metres out. Goal to the Magpies. 11 points in front.
Three Collingwood goals have resulted from 3 direct Hawthorn mistakes. The first one was a Holland kick. Lekis dropped the mark, and then Shane Crawford, the Hawthorn skipper, did a lot of good work up to this stage.
Got excited.
Kicked it through the middle of the ground, and that is poor disposal. Turnover. They had to work hard to win it back, Collingwood, but they did. Ball shouldn't have been there in the first place, and it resulted in a goal. So they've made the most of their opportunities, the Pies. That's what a good side does.
Collingwood by 11 points then. Under a minute before quarter time. Wynn hesitates. It ricochets across towards McGough. Mitchell goes after it. Buckley tied up in a tackle, taken down. 5 possessions so far for Nathan Buckley.
Yeah,
his career higher against Hawthorn. Sorry, Dim, 37 round 16 2000.
Yeah, Chick's got 5. Buckley's got 5. So they're head-to-head.
Inside the last 30 seconds, McKee tries to hook it down behind Lucuria. Has been very good. Away to McGough. Kicks inside the 50. Awkward half volley for Rocker. Holland leads back in the race. Runs onto the footy. Lays it off. This is Bateman. Bateman close to the boundary line with a kick. On the lead. Marked in front by Brown. Been very handy.
5th possession coming up for Campbell Brown. Playing in the forward pocket. Searches up the ground.
Wait for the siren. There you go. Quarter time of the MCG. Friday night football. And Collingwood generally controlling the game the last 10 minutes. Not bad for Hawthorn, but Collingwood getting that late goal, their third. They're 3-3-21 and Hawthorn 1-4-10. Second term, Collingwood by 11 points. McKee knocks it down. In the road is Chick, though, hurriedly onto the boot. Touched off the boot. That won't be a mark. Brown with a problem immediately when he hit the ground. Crawford left it behind. McKee pressed to Giacomo. Jams it on the boot up towards the wing. Juggled. The mark is paid to Lockyer. Man on the other side. He flirted with the idea of going. Now pops it out on this grandstand side, our side of the ground. McGough has got it. Back towards the middle. Johnson finds himself with some room. Telling kick down towards full forward. Rocker outnumbered. Coming back. Cox dropped the mark. Heads for the line. And concedes a behind. A moral victory there for Anthony Rocker. So the lead on to 12 points. Cox. His namesake. Whoops. Bateman in trouble. Lockyer, is that holding the ball? Play goes on. Loney. Hand passes towards the boundary line. Not a bad result for the Magpies. It will be tossed in. The ball stays in. 22 plays 10.
There's a double movement rule in rugby or something like that, isn't there, in terms of a try? I mean, he might have had 2 cracks.
That's a throw.
Yes.
There should have been a free kick, that one. Throw in. Graham's the 3rd man up for Hawthorn. Thumps it. It'll come straight back, though. McGough has the ball. Wanted to give off the handball. Now he kicks to the goal square, but it's all Hawthorn. Graham, just bounced in front of him on the half volley. He's handed it straight back to Didak, and he kicks his second. Well, he did everything right there, Graham. Committed himself, went hard at the ball, and then the handball went right to the wrong spot.
Well, if it's going to happen to anyone on your team, you want it to happen to one of your more experienced players so they can take it on board. He knows what he's done. He doesn't need to be told off by the coach or anything like that. He's done the right thing. He just doesn't get a good purchase on the ball with the fist. He skims past it.
Right, again, honestly, he wouldn't have seen Alan Didak. I reckon he's just he's thought I could go to Nick Holland, who was the shorter of the option. Thought he'd go longer, paid the price. But again, fourth Hawthorn mistake, fourth goal to Collingwood.
Magpies out to an 18-point lead. We've played 2.5 minutes in this second term. Centre bounce, McKee, Wren gets the tap, Lucuria again, Crawford, great battle that one. Crashing through was Rees, one of the rising stars in 2002, and the kick was a beauty. That's why he's nominated for the National Australia Bank Rising Star, and the mark has been taken by Barlow, who, Dermot, you have told us numerous times is a very good kick at goal.
You're trying to get me to Mozzie, man.
Absolutely.
Look, Nick Rees, the more I see Nick Rees, the more I am impressed with his knowledge to think his way through senior footy.
Big kick for Hawthorn this one, and Barlow starts it right, bends it left and puts it right through the middle. He is a very good kick, and he gets his first of the night, and Hawthorn second.
That is a matchup that Hawthorn will be very happy with. Cloak against Barlow, and as soon as Barlow gets Cloak, and Chris Barlow never really plays definitive full forward, but as soon as they say, all right, Cloak, they're going to man you up, you go with him all day, Chris Barlow just drags him back to the goal square because he just doesn't have the caper yet sewn up. Cloak, he's going to be a great player, but at the moment still learning.
12 points the difference. 4-4-2-4. Wren slaps it forward. Off the line in quickly. Wakeland thought about where to go, then gave it away. Cox slips a hand pass away. Vandenberg on the outer side. Touched off the boot inside the attacking 50. Clement on a collision course. Put Barlow down. Cloak hacks it across the line on the full.
Even then, he had 10 metres on Jason Cloak, and it is exactly the move. I think you've got to take him to the last line.
Crawford short. This is Thompson hard against the boundary line, 55 metres out from goal. Hawks needing a couple of goals back-to-back here.
Space over the mark.
Short coming on the lead and taking the mark is Barlow.
You can see it, Gary. You can actually see when he took off from the goal square for his last goal, Jason Cloak has been used this year as a third string up over the top, fist the ball away. They're making him accountable tonight and making him read the play, and Chris Barlow's just that little, half a second to a full second quicker to read the play.
A couple of years ago, Barlow kicked about 6 against Collingwood from memory.
Yep.
Barlow just in from the boundary. Not a bad effort. Got that ball to work back left to right. Of course, blotted his copybook against the Bombers. Thinking back to early in the season. Looking very lively on the forward line at the moment.
You can expect the runner to get out and say to Jason Cloak, whatever you do, don't play on the last line. You expect Hawthorn to try and take him back for the rest of the game.
Oh, here he is. He's not on the last line this time. He's under the ball on centre wing. There's a push in the back, and the advantage we pay to Collingwood. Loney runs away. Loney 2 bounces inside 50. Lines them up. Kicks it up the middle. And right through the middle it goes. Goal to the Magpies. They're fifth.
Too easy in the end. Too easy in the end from fullback. The length of the ground. And, well, there's a free kick played, but advantage was rightly paid. As we watch here against Mark Graham for in the back, and then good quick thinking from Cloak. Get the footy on. And once this fella gets balanced, he is a very good kick. That wasn't a great kick off the boot, but it floated through beautifully. So it's a nice finish. We've got a bit of action actually off the footy at the moment. And it looks like it's going to go Hawthorn's way.
Grabbed him by the throat, decides a free kick to Hawthorn.
Free kick in the middle against Tarrant. Back behind this action, obviously. Pushed down Graham. So Wren got the free back at the centre circle. This is Loney.
Barlow again on the lead.
Nathan Loney told to play on. Kicks inside the 50. Up in front, Barlow. Loose at the back. Leckis tracks it towards the boundary line. Out it goes as we go down to Peter Larkins.
Yeah, Hawthorn hasn't been able to get Luke Hodge out this quarter, Dennis. He's been having a lot of treatment on his right hamstring over quarter time and again on the bench. So just jogging the boundary. Hopefully they'll get him back. Luke Hodge, Hawthorn.
Graham and Tarrant will be interesting. Tarrant got 2 weeks for striking Graham earlier this year.
Buckley quickly away. Too slick for Burns. Putting the body in down there was McGough. And he wrestles with Vandenberg. 2 tough hombres, and we'll have a bounce. You can see the tackle count certainly favours Hawthorn, 21-9.
Chris G. Camo's gone on to Barlow and Cloak's on to Loney.
Well, it ended up with Reynolds on his own. It comes to Chick. He breaks the tackle. Handball's out wide. A chance now for the Hawks. Rees across to Leckis, lines up from 35 and kicks the goal. Leckis gets his first and Hawthorn's third.
Gary, the bloke who's doing an awful lot of damage against Collingwood, they're probably controlling most positions, but the bloke who's doing really well against Collingwood is Sean Wren. He is actually beating McKee at all the bounce downs, and centre clearances this quarter, Hawthorn 4, Collingwood none. He's making McKee play against an opponent tonight, and he doesn't really do that too often, McKee.
It's good coaching, and it seems to be evening things up a bit.
So the centre clearance is 4-0 Hawthorn's way in this second term. 11 points the difference. It's been goal for goal. McKee goes up, just got a fingertip on it. Buckley's kick was smothered. Wren again gets the ball working to Rees, who's been fantastic this quarter. To Vandenberg over the top. Hawks have got it again. Leckis 2 in a minute from 40 metres out. He kicks the goal. 5 points the difference.
Sean Wren again, he's mixing it up against McKee. McKee was looking for the body, then jumped early, did well, but it was Wren who still kept his wits about him and picked the ball up off the deck and got it going with the little sideways handball. And young Rees thinking his way through the traffic again. He has got a good footy brain, Nick Rees.
Yeah, and again, Angelo Leckis, who missed some footy with stress fractures, has had a great year up to that stage and was missed by the Hawks. Kicked 2 in a matter of seconds, and the Hawks are back in it at the moment. They've been inside 55 times to Collingwood's 2.
They're looking much better, and Wren has been a reason why. Goes up, taps it down. That time intercepted by McGough. Kicks towards half forward. Davis stifled the bouncing ball. But Theoris feeds it out wide. Buckley, about 65 metres from goal. A little closer to the 50 as he works forward. Mercurio sold into trouble by his captain. And down he goes, and a ball up. Bounce about 60 metres out from goal.
This will tell a different story. McKee standing side on against Wren here.
Wren shields the drop of the ball. Mercurio, though, stepped in, got it. Gave it to Burns. Short chip, marked by Rocker. Mercurio's been terrific.
He has been. He is having a great year, Paul Mercurio. He's had 8 possessions to this stage of the game. Shane Crawford, his opponent, 3. He wins them in tight and close. I think that's the most impressive thing. And there's a bit of an experience from Nick Holland, who wouldn't have played on the last line of defence too often.
Wasn't that, you just barely see it, but that front-on view, the right arm of Rocker just pushed into the chest of Nick Holland and bought him that half-metre space to get to the mark first.
Anthony Rocker, who turns 25 next Thursday, should kick this.
Buckley off, Scotland on.
That's interesting. Rocker meantime kicks truly. 6 goals to Collingwood.
Good effort from Anthony Rocker. He needs to fire. Nathan Buckley's gone to the interchange bench. He's had 8 possessions. I'm not sure 7 possessions to his opponent Chick, but there's just quick hands in tight. The Mercurio to Burns, and that's a lovely kick for touch. I'm not sure what Nathan Buckley's story is. We might just keep an eye on him. I don't think he's running the boundary. Whether there's an injury, Dr. Larkins will tell us, no question. I think he's been okay. There he is.
Buckley on the bench, having a word to the coach. 8 possessions for the game for the skipper of Collingwood. Magpies back out to an 11-point lead. Back in the centre of the ground. Scotland, who's just on for Buckley, grabbed it. Goes to Grand. Mercurio hard at the ball, but it's the Hawks through Hodge and now Cox who go forward again. Thompson comes out, handballs to Rees, who's been the danger man. Inside 50 he goes. Here's Barlow out. He's got a new opponent on Prestigiacomo. Taken close to the boundary line. Umpires all said it was still in. Burns does it well. Line turns, kicks up towards the halfback flank position. Now it finds the boundary line. Will have a throw in. Doc Larkins, anything down there on Nathan Buckley?
Yeah, he did come off and spend time straight away with David Francis, the physio, Ed, but then Mick Malthouse called him back to go onto the phone, but they hadn't completed assessing him, the physio, so there was something going on with him, but straight to the bench.
So Fraser now into the ruck against Wren. Neither ruckman get it. Leckis crashes the tackle, did it well. Got his kick inside the 50. Prestigiacomo and Barlow. Coming out was Chick. Was able to turn his opponent inside out. He has a flying snap with a goal. The Hawks fans like it. He kicks his first. And the Hawks come back within 5 points.
Well, isn't that interesting? Nathan Buckley goes to the interchange bench. Daniel Chick decides to take the opportunity to rest and spell deep in attack and kicks a goal. He's had a fair night, 8 possessions as well for Chick. So that contest, I think, has been a very even one. But with Buckley on the bench, it allowed him to have a spell up forward, and he does know his way around the goals, Daniel Chick. So
got a few matchups up forward the Hawks will be happy with. Freeborn, who's creative, won't have the body strength to go with the power against Chick out of the goal square.
They've swung that around, Doom. They've got Clement back on the Chick now.
That makes sense.
And suddenly the Hawks forward line looking very potent. Looked very sluggish in the opening term. At the base of the pack, Leckers a half chance, gathers the footy, moves it about 15 metres. All Hawthorn forward of the ball, taken by Hodge, goes for distance, slides off the outside of the boot, but Barlow gets underneath it with a sprawl.
You've got to love the talk, don't you? You have to love the talk. It either flies or it goes off and gives someone a chance. It gives a forward a chance, I reckon, because they're the ones that react quicker or react
That's
first.
That's a good point. Yeah, mongrel kicks. Surprisingly enough, how many mongrel kicks get marked by forwards? Centre clearances this quarter, 7-1 in favour of Hawthorn.
Barlow, 35 metres out. This for the lead. Misses to the near side.
1 goal, 2 to Barlow this quarter.
Last kick in, Collingwood went the length of the ground and scored a goal through Loney. And Hawthorn are putting a zone in which is protecting the corridor. And Collingwood picked a hole in it last time. Most of their numbers for Collingwood are right down the spine, about 40 out, and they'll break from there. Predominantly, they usually go to one side. There they go. Opens
Loney.
up.
2 Mines. Short to the pocket. Press the Giacomo. Nothing much up ahead.
Forcing a one-on-one.
Hugs the boundary line with a kick then. Gives it away. Crawford hasn't seen much of the footy. Pulls it back towards the middle. Too cute. Davis has got it in the grasp. Got it away. McGoff's hand pass effective. Scotland is breaking. Player down behind the pack. The umpire saw it. Wave play on. Scotland out towards the wing. Coxley's back in the race. Lockyer missed him at the first attempt. Ball comes to him though. Too slick for Batheris. He gets onto it now. 75 metres out. Just chips for space really. Leckers inside the defensive 50 over the top. Cox was bumped in the back and they were lucky. Very lucky there. Lockyer should have tackled. Wasting no time. Kick towards the other side from Holland. Graham's away. Goes down towards half forward. Storming up the ground, Barlow. He's really lively in this term. A tonic for the forward line. Kicks inside the 50. Wakeland, fingertips to it. Davis accelerates away. Got away. Hugs the boundary. Hand pass. Didn't have the football. Advantages paid. Freeborn over the top. This is Johnson. Kicks it up towards the wing. Adrian Cox got a fist on it. Crawford arrives quickly. Close to the boundary line. Slips a hand pass forward. Hodge feeds it back towards the middle. Cox comes across the ground. Ambitious. Taken by Loney. Well done. Scrambled forward inside the 50. Now a chance for Brown, who got it from Bateman. And the kick, not the equal of the earlier good work.
Great effort, Chance Bateman summed that situation up beautifully. Knew he had Brown on, knew he was getting some pressure. We heard Doom give out an exclamation.
Yeah, it was behind the ball, but I reckon he's missed him.
No, he's missed him by a foot there, Jason Cloak. But you get sent off in soccer, can't you, for that?
Inside 50s, Hawthorn 11-4 this quarter ahead of Collingwood, and the margin is 3 points. The Magpies hanging on to a lead. 16 minutes gone.
Gee whiz.
That was close.
Very close.
Kicks it out wide. Umpire has paid a free kick to Fraser. Burns has got away. Fraser's kicked it out in front. Burns loves a goal. He can run all the way here. Has a bounce from 50. Bit of juggling in between just to make it a bit harder. His kick at goal is a beauty. And Burns steadies the ship for Collingwood. His first.
It actually happens from the kicking, Gary. Collingwood brings someone, Burns on that occasion, from half-back flank. He runs diagonally through the centre square and gets to the other side all by himself. He runs through the traffic of the centre square and he's almost coughed it up at the end. He's given a bit of a shank, but he's got full points
the
for it.
copybook Ryan Loney. Same spot, two bounces.
He's run from the other flank. Yep.
Well, as Gary predicted, this game is opening up now. He's a soothsayer. Back in the middle, 7-4-5-7. Hacked out of there, spiked forward by Wren. Spills wide, Adkins, taken down by Loney. Interesting kick. Vandenberg almost took it off his boot. Kicks inside the 50, Cloak. suited by the kick that time. So his problems in this term, taking the mark on his chest. Lockyer wants it across the ground. Cloak decides to run up towards the defensive 50. He's intent on drawing him in. Thompson worked hard and certainly helped there, stretched it out. Lockyer goes wide though, and the kick is good. Lucuria having a wonderful night. He's on the wing. Just over 10 minutes till halftime. 46 plays 37. Lucuria down towards the 50. Cox goes back. Adrian Cox, and takes the defensive mark. Wants to go and does. Often the Coxes combine there. Back it comes. Little chip out of defence. Tallis. Theoris gets a hand pass to Davis. Theoris 55 metres out under pressure. Awkward bounce for Fraser. Backed up by Beneloni. Little chip comes across the ground from Lockyer, and the mark is taken by Didak right on the 50.
And tidy from Lance Piccioni, just flirting there. Might have just hit him over the top, I reckon. No, it's almost. Alan Didak wanted to take a dive.
I reckon if he had hit the ball, he would have got 50 then.
Yeah, it's untidy from Lance. He was flirted with a 50 there, and probably unlucky Didak not to have got one.
But you wouldn't like to see a 50 from there in the context of the game. It's been hard at it.
Yeah, it's been a good contest. The umpires haven't, as we called earlier, they haven't given 50s for late charges.
Lancing blow, or in that case a lancing blow. There goes the kick from Didak. Geez, giving it a ride. That is tight. It's good. Wonderful goal. His third.
What about that for a kicking style? That's someone who knows his capabilities there and knows how to extract every centimetre. Let's have a look at the mark first of all. And then I want to have a look at his running and shot at goal. He veers dramatically out to the left. What about there? And swings it back in. It's great contact on it. It's every centimetre of Alan Didak behind that footy, and it's a great finish.
So 2 in a row to the Magpies. Back out to a 15-point lead. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left. Fraser's made an impact since going into the ruck. McGough just held the ball, then released to Atkins. Breaks the line, tries to get the handball going, finds it at the free ball, and a torpedo. Or was it Burns? Up towards half, but here's Didak again. He's kicked 3 for number 4. He runs into an open goal. Alan Didak kicks 4.
That was as dumb a football as you've ever seen, Gary, with Lance Piccioni.
Talking about Lance Piccioni, dude. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, and there's Lance on screen. He had no right to go up then unless he could have easily marked the ball. And you just knew that Didak was going to kick the goal then.
Number 1 rule as a defender is you stay with your opponent until the contest is decided, and then you make the decision. That's not decided there, and there's Lance. He says, I'm going to go and do something. I don't think he knew what he was going to do. And all he did was fall flat on his back, leave his opponent Didak standing, and paid the ultimate price.
And I reckon he'd have a new opponent by about now, Alan Didak.
Well, Hawthorn got it back to 4 points. Suddenly it's tripped out to 21. Ran up in front. McGough dragged down. Got boot the ball. It goes straight up in the air. Getting a fist on it was Cox. Wide at the congestion. Running onto it Leckis. Jams it on the boot down towards half forward. Wakeland leads in the race. Thompson after him. Overrunning at Wakeland. Thompson, good pickup. Chips inside the 50. Was there holding on to Chick, not according to the umpire. Cox, high ball down towards full forward. A backhander out by Scotland. Brilliantly gathered by Davis. Chips it out into the path of Lockyer. Needs a kind bounce. Great tackle by Bateman. Got him down. Charging through is Crawford. Off the ball. There's a whistle. And it's coming back.
Good advantage call by the umpire.
It's coming back to Bateman. The advantage not paid.
Downfield to Shane Crawford.
Okay. Good umpiring. Crawford slips away then under a fair degree of pressure. Slipping was Johnson. Oh, and I think he's a bit lucky. Brown is penalised. Johnson comes up with a free kick.
Johnson goes wide. It's a one-on-one. Lucuria versus Tallis. Lucuria to the front, did it well. Then kept his feet, which was even better. Then the handball was a beauty. Theoris is there. Wants to give it back. Lucuria takes it. Handball's over the top. Was good play. McGough Handball's back. Collingwood moving the ball beautifully to Loney. Now the kick goes forward into the 50. Cole just on the ground, over his head, punched away, picked up by Graham. His handball's off to Hodge, back to Graham on defensive 40. Leon Davis is swinging on the next kick. He's going to go to the boundary line though, and will have a throw in at half-forward flank for Collingwood. It's 58-37 with 7.5 left in the second term. Tony Jones.
Just pose a question to Gary and Dermot, if I can add. Jade Rawlings has spent all of this quarter on the bench. Would he be an handy option at this point for Hawthorn in defence?
I don't think so. Collingwood have gone a bit smaller up forward. They've taken Fraser off and then put him back into the ruck, and McKee stayed off, so they're a bit smaller up forward.
Crawford over the top and caught one high from Leon Davis. Will get the free kick.
No great matchup for Jade at the moment. Maybe a forward-line option.
Well off.
Leon wearing the boots. I said, white boots, just like Phil Carman to him. He said, they're champagne, brother. And champagne football is what he's been giving tonight, Leon. He's fantastic in his 50th game. Crawford with 7th possession. Goes to Thompson. Thompson, a key to this Hawthorn side. Kicks to centre half forward. Rocker came back with courage. Fraser at the back of the pack. Looks around and then stuck it up in the air for a long time. McGough has been excellent tonight. Takes the mark. His 17th possession. Mark McGough transfers play to the outer side to Ben Johnson. Didak's got away on centre wing. Falls over. Missed the target. Cox will get the rebound. Adrian Cox drops the ball. Good assist there from Lucuria. Dropping the ball, holding the ball, says the umpire. And the free kick will go to... Take your pick out there. Benny Johnson's gone over and taken the kick.
Yeah, he had a hand on his back there as he let go the ball forward.
Cole, did he get one in the back? No, says the umpire. Throw it in.
It was a poor decision, Adrian Cox. I don't know what was going through his mind. Chris Tarrant on the interchange bench. This game hasn't been played the way he'd like it. There was no room for him to lead into, and he's a player who needs to be able to adapt to various conditions. At the moment, things have got to be right for him to get a lot of the footy.
He's off a long time, Buckley.
And Tarrant off as well.
Burns is sitting there as well. Here's Crawford, close to the boundary line. It bounces in the field of play. Coming up is Barlow. Initially, he's kept it in. One was suggested will go out. No, Brown to his own advantage. Brown, well done. Some attacking footy there. Vandenberg runs inside the 50. They need a goal. Can he provide it? No. Marked about a metre in the opposite pocket by Cloak. Chips it up wide then towards the right half-back flank, and Clement drives it up towards the wing. Wonderful kick. Rocker, it arrived quickly. Now he's got a problem, surrounded by Hawks. Holland got him down. Rocker did very well. That was the only result that was going to be of any value for Collingwood as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, pretty impressive Collingwood bench with Tarrant, Burns, McKee and Buckley. Buckley has not had any medical attention since he came off Dennis, so whatever's keeping him off, he's brought into the game.
Piccioni off to Dixon, who's just straight on the ground. He's got the footy. Has the bounce? No, he doesn't. Decides to kick long to the goal square. Hawthorn have got the mark through young Brown again, and he reads the ball beautifully. And one thing about Campbell Brown you don't have to worry about is he'll go straight at it.
He will.
Give you some intensity up there. Also, you saw that he can mark it over his head, Gary, for like a 5'9" type player. And Dixon recognised this and put it out in front of him. Ben Johnson's a good crumbing back pocket, but not as good as Campbell Brown in the air.
Needed another Collingwood defender to go in there. They're all standing around watching it. Campbell, Brown lining up. He's kicked 1 goal 2 tonight. A big goal for the Hawks. They need this one. He's dead in front, you can see, and he doesn't make any mistake. He kicks his second of the night.
Well, I continue to throw him around down there, Hawthorn, to try and get the match that suits them best. I thought it was, well, Nick Holland was the player that punched the ball out in that ruck contest. Anthony Rocker just didn't recover after the contest. It wasn't good enough from Rocker. The marking contest was dropped. Ball went out of bounds. He didn't recover to contest the ruck. Holland went uncontested, and this was the result to Brown, who's kicked now his second goal.
So just for the moment, the Magpies can't shake the Hawks. It's out to 15 points. Both ruckman missed it. Lockyer at the base of the pack, feeds it back to Wakeland, hacks his way through, comes back to Lockyer, who's been good in this term, goes with the outside of the boot, not his best effort. Cox hit the ground running. Simon Cox down towards half forward, bounces very high. Thompson beaten by Rocker, hacked out of midair by Clement. Quick thinking, and he gets the ball out of bounds. 58 plays 43, approaching half time.
Nathan Thompson's gone into the ruck. And it's a different change-up for the Collingwood ruckman, Josh Fraser, to work out here. He got forward very, very freely then, and it was just a shabby kick going towards him. Otherwise, he would have taken it pretty easily.
Tossed in, chick from behind, down to Crawford, runs to the 50. Sharp angle, looking to work it back. Brown, almost. Loose ball, whistle.
Free kick.
How will they call it? It's going to be Hawthorn's free and Brown. The umpire only 5 metres away.
Well, this is great coaching by Peter Schwab.
Yeah, it is. I think you're right. He was unlucky earlier to have a mark taken off him, Brown, when he had Johnson done cold. And there it is. That's I don't know.
I reckon it's when he stands up. It's when he stands up. He gets to his feet earlier.
He's stiff if that was what it was for.
Well, Brown going at his third. And he pops it through. The Hawks, not to be denied.
Well, we'd have to. Well, hopefully we can get another look at that down and see it all the way through, because if that was what the free was for, he was probably, well, not probably, I think he was very unlucky.
In the rules of the game, it's there. He's got a hold of the jumper.
Grabbed it or he brushed
well, you have a look here. In the rules of the game, he's got hold of his jumper, but you'd let that go. If we keep letting it run, I reckon. No, well, we didn't get it. I thought he's gone for him when he's got up, because he got to his feet earlier.
And we've got to change anyway. James Clement has gone to full back now onto Brown, so it's twice now they've had to readjust.
And Buckley back on for Collingwood. Fraser out of the ruck. Looks for his skipper, then kicked it forward. Cole is there for Collingwood, but Graham just had the inside running, had the line, if you like, and took the mark. He's done pretty well, Graham. At wide to Jade Rawlings. Inside 4 minutes left in this quarter. Margin back to 9 points. Collingwood with 21 points in front just 9 minutes ago. Adrian Cox, high up and under, the centre half forward. They all fly off the hands of the pack. It was picked up by Freeborn. Broke the lines, did it beautifully. Then got the handball out to Wakeland. Wakeland now looks up. Cole has got away from Graham on this occasion and takes it on his chest. 55 out. First touch for Richard Cole. Leading back to the goal square was Rocker. The kick was a shocker. And as a result, Rawlings takes an uncontested mark. He goes out wide. Dixon is out at defensive 60. Fumbles, but has plenty of time to look up. He can go over the top to Holland and does. Holland now has got Tallis on. There's Hawks running free everywhere up forward. Here it comes. Tallis was there for 10 minutes. Mark 60 out. Sixth possession for Raiden Tallis.
Good lead by Brown.
Thompson's got away and marks.
It was a great lead from Brown. He put probably 5 metres between him and Johnson. He's got some toe as well, Campbell Brown. Nathan Thompson, have a look at this in the goal square. He's got a heap of toe, and that was meant for him. Nathan Brown just picked his pocket. Nathan Thompson picked his pocket.
Gee, I wouldn't mind it if Nathan Brown was playing in Hawthorn tonight.
So Nathan Thompson, 4 marks tonight, inside 2.5 minutes. To make the difference just 3 points. The Hawks have kicked the last 2 of the game to get right back in this battle. Friday night football at the MCG. Thompson comes in. It's going to be close. As close as it can be. Other than a goal, it's hit the woodwork. 1 point. Tarrant back on for Collingwood. Cole to the bench. Magpies by 8 points.
Second poster there, and that's that Nathan Thompson in the ruck pushing forward, I spoke of, Gary. Josh Fraser just couldn't cover him when he went into his own forward line.
Lucky is short. This is Clement.
Come from the opposite back flank again.
They do it well. Scotland runs to the wing, looks down towards half forward, kicks for space. Didak, who's booted for, being held surely, will get the free kick. About 60 metres out.
Consistency there from the umpires, which is good. Brown, Gold from a similar free.
That's been the difference, really. Collingwood's goal kicking tonight, very impressive. They've kicked some wonderful goals. 9-4.
Rocker one out.
Looks very good, unless, of course, it's your cholesterol. About 5 metres out, hooked over the back there by Graham, across the goal face, and out of bounds. He really worked the angles.
I heard it, Dennis.
It'll be tossed in. Collingwood by 8.
You worry about the cholesterol, somebody worry about the blood pressure.
200 over 130.
Throw in, we've played nearly 31 minutes. Rocker, Tarrant, Davis, he's picked it. Left foot snap. Has been it back too far.
Clever kick, though. It would have been so easy to try and skyball that one, but he actually kept it low on the bend across his body.
But a point resulted. 9 points the difference now. Collingwood in front.
Clearances this quarter. Hawthorn 14, Collingwood 5. Hit-outs, Hawthorn 11, Collingwood 2.
Inside a minute 30 left is Crawford. Danger. Good play, though. Comes to Hodge. Hodge to 2 players are away, the Hawks. And here's Loney. Nathan Loney inside 50. Dixon, 1 against 3, takes the mark. Beautiful play. Lovely kick from Nathan Loney. And courage and skill provided by Dixon will end up with a set shot from 35 metres out directly in front to make the margin 3 points.
Likes getting into a bit of space, Hodge, when he can pick out a target and get it there quickly. That was an awesome kick coming up the middle. And foot skills, you can't replace them. Collingwood have got plenty of guys who can kick it. And Hawthorn there found 2 youngsters who can seriously thump it.
Ryan Loney kicked a very similar kick in the first quarter, one that was just missed. It's a kick for touch, player running into space, difficult to execute. Looks great when they come off.
Peter Schwab says if he had one player in his team who would put kicking for his life, this is the bloke. He's dead. I mossed him.
I'll keep it going, dude. Inside 50s, Hawthorn 20, Collingwood 12 in this quarter. Highs by 8.
That's in the current crop.
Yeah. Where's Peter? Get him to breathe on this mirror.
I'll get Buckadara to kick for mine.
Lockyer told to hurry, compromises, then chips, Burns up towards right half back. Clock running down to half time. A real seesaw affair as he kicks it up towards the wing. Buckley was held, took the mark in any case.
I think Chick will work his way into the middle just for the last couple of minutes against Buckley.
30 seconds to go. Buckley. Punishing kick down towards right half foot. It pitches close to the boundary line, goes out. Clock stops on 23. Boundary throw in coming up. The margin 11 points at quarter time. McGough quietly putting together a career night.
Some sort of half a footy for Mark McGough.
Slips in, slips out. Remember Anzac Day. Taken high was Fraser. We're down to 18 seconds. Still plenty of time for the Magpies, provided they go directly at goal. He doesn't know that, of course. Maybe he does. High ball. They'll compete about 30 metres out. Rocker almost came back to him. Down he goes. And that ball is not coming out.
Not sure. Well, there you go. At half time, I'm not sure whether my eyes deceive me or Anthony Rocker's put on a couple of kilo over the course of this season. I will talk to Dermot about that at half time.
I thought you were going to say in this match. Half time, 9-5, 7-9. The margin 8 points, but the Magpies are being tested on Friday Night Football. Away we go. Second half, Friday Night Football. One down by Wren. Vandenberg slung as he kicked. Helped on its way by Chick. Chopped off by Clement. A high kick floats down inside the 50. That took off, didn't it? Tarrant deflects off his body. Bateman went to ground. Tallis put the body in. Tarrant quick hands. Loney outside the 50. Buckley 53 metres out. Pushed as he kicked. It affected the kick, and the mark is taken by Hodge.
Chick's pace to get to Buckley then on the turn. He would have felt pretty confident, Buckley, at out-turning his opponent.
Simon Cox inside his defensive 50. Hawthorn have kept on coming tonight. Squares it. Dixon.
Good training for Collingwood coming into the finals. There's a team here that's prepared to press on them one-on-one, make them accountable.
Brown, lively forward in the second term. A good kick, though. Back goes Clement, needs to keep it in and does. Stops against the boundary line, goes for distance. High ball down towards half forward. Cloak goes back on Tallis, steps over him now, gets a kick off too, gains about 25 metres and it runs out of bounds right at the 50.
Couple of changes, particularly Hawthorn's forward line. They pushed everyone up to half forward and given Barlow plenty of room to move on the lead. He's got Prestigiacomo at the moment, and same down the other end. They're trying to give space for Tarrant to get him into the game, and Cloak may very well have gone forward to give a contest across half forward.
Campbell Brown's kicked 3 goals and 2 goals to Angelo Lekas, 4 to Alan Didak, the multiple goal kickers in this game to half time. Adrian Cox to Reeves, back to Cox, had to stretch across the goal. It's a good-looking kick out to the defensive 50. It was very good, in fact. Holland in front of Rocker, kicks along the boundary line and makes up about 45, 50 metres. We'll have a throw-in on centre wing.
Now that Nick Holland has had half a footy down there and done OK, he should start to run now. He should start to try and create something and push Anthony Rocker up the ground at every opportunity.
So Leon Davis actually at full forward for Collingwood at the moment. Throw in. Wren and Fraser. Wren got the hand on the ball. Fraser goes a second time at ground level. Slings it out of the pack. Looking for the boundary line. Crawford keeps it in, says the boundary umpire. Good play. Reeves gets it back. Looks up. The kick needs to be a good one, and it is. Cox takes the mark. Cox kicks to centre half forward. Over the head of the pack, Brown, who has kicked 3 goals. Handballs over the top, and the Hawks are going to go to the front. Yes, they are. It's a goal. Barlow kicks his second.
Well, there's all that room, Doom, that I just mentioned earlier. There was so much room and space to run into, and again, it's this boy, Campbell Brown. I'll tell you what, he is impressive. He's got good leg speed. He follows on here and catches up to Barlow, and that's a fair effort because a player with a footy running towards goal always finds a yard. It's a good setup for Hawthorn. They look more dangerous when they got some room down there to run into, and very impressed with that boy right there, Campbell Brown.
Campbell Brown showing some speed there. 9-5, 8-9. Tight now. Wren goes up, taps it down. Crawford, can he lift out of the middle, hooks it towards half forward. Rees gets a hand pass to Loney, slips it away still further. Vandenberg inside the 50, lines up. Has it got the carry? No.
Tell you what, there is space opening up in Hawthorn's forward line because, once again, it's all due to this fact that they don't allow Collingwood, that loose man, to just peel off and pick the ball off in the back line when the incoming ball is.
Loney off for Cole.
It's Clement.
Crawford has lifted Dennis. Locuria towed him in the first quarter. He's now up to 12 touches and starting to get a bit of the footy.
Out of the back pocket, Collingwood then. High ball towards the wing. Fraser with this set tries to help the ball on its way. Down behind, it's Graham. Sweeps a hand pass towards the middle. Crawford yet again kicks inside the 50. Charging up, hurling himself at the ball was Brown. Ricochets to Chick. How did he get rid of that one? Umpire says play on. Buckley tackles Brown. Prestigiacomo falls on top. And that is the very question Buckley is asking. How did the ball come out of there if it didn't simply fall to the ground? Watch it again. Well,
dropping the ball.
It was a good question.
Well worth asking.
Absolutely. Thompson.
You wouldn't have got to put the answer on IQ last week, the umpire, I can tell you.
I flunked that. I want to talk to you about that.
It was a big start. It's a pretty big start this one for the Hawks, and
Good umpiring.
Umpires bounced it and said, get on with it. McGough goes up, Locuria at the bottom of the pack. The intensity lifting here.
I've got a bone to pick with him. Why is that good umpiring? I mean,
Because it's broken it up straight away.
don't the umpires have sort of a commitment though to the bloke who doesn't want to fight?
I tell you what, the one bloke you do fear as a player is your coach. And if they bounce the ball and they have more players around it and they take it away, you're in trouble.
Collingwood fans want a free kick and want another one, and this time they'll get one. Vandenberg let one rip and let a second one go.
you know, you've got a big, strong body, you use it. And that's what Richard Vandenberg did, gave away a free.
11th disposal coming up as a Collingwood skipper.
He missed that.
Actually, he missed him. He hit him with the forearm across the chest.
Freeborn over the top. Collingwood trying to work it through the corridor now with Scotland. Out right he goes to Tarrant. Tarrant takes the mark. His third possession coming up. Kicks long, looking for Rocker. Lockyer's underneath it as well. Flies high, off the hands of the pack. Clement runs for the ball in front of 3 Hawks, but crashing through was Bateman. Good handball out wide to Holland. Holland goes for the boundary line again. He's kicked it up there, and it'll just be Prestigiacomo over the line and out of bounds. He did very well there, Nick Holland. Throw in between wing and half-forward flank for the Hawks. 6 minutes gone. It's a point the difference. Collingwood in front.
Again, Holland, who's a very fit player. Good recovery, second effort, and Anthony Rocker's got to work harder at that part of the game.
Throw in. Fraser gets to the front. Wren gets a tap. McGough at the fall of the ball. Tried a very ambitious handball. It hasn't come off. Cox inside 50 for the Hawks. Freeborn at the front. Dives in front. Does it well in front of Brown. Wakeland wobbles out of the pack. Then kicks with the left boot. It's all Hawks though. Buckley underneath tries to get into the back of Cox there. Play on, says the umpire. Here's Chick with a run at the ball. He's 50 out. He lines up the goals. He has a flying shot to the goal square. Thompson takes the mark and will line up to put Hawthorn in front for the first time in the game.
Now, I've got to say one thing. Back at this boundary line throwing, the error for Collingwood was McGough. He had 3 players defensive side of the pack who were screaming for the ball, but he actually thought like a school kid footballer and said, no, go my way. And he handballs it back. Hawthorn get on the end of it and just pump it forward. So that's just a knowledge and awareness of who's around you. You always take a look before the ball's thrown in.
Big kick right here. The hopes and aspirations of 2 clubs. This for the lead. They trail by a point. Nathan Thompson. 10 metres out. Kicks. Goal umpire goes a long way, but I think it's okay. It is. Hawthorn in front.
And there's another very good lesson in all of this as well, Dermot, and it comes about by a bit of play by Daniel Chick, and it's all about keeping your feet. And right here, you'll see it in a minute. He gets into some heavy traffic. He gets pushed off balance here and doesn't stay. He takes the bump. Wasn't a heavy bump, but stayed upright, got the run of the footy and kicked it long enough to get himself a goal. Good play by the number 17 for the Hawks.
Hawthorn have booted the last 4 goals in this game. 9-10, 9-5. Right of the pack, Cox. Collingwood needing to hold here. Crawford missed it. McGough didn't. Picks it up, jams it on the boot, sends it down towards half forward, bounces very high. Rocker tries to slap it on. Getting back in the race is Cox. Stopped it effectively to his namesake. At close quarters, missed the target. Now Didak goes at his 5th. Well wide of the mark, kicks it behind.
At that bounce down, Collingwood had 8 men in their back line, and Hawthorn only had a chance to run down the 7th forward, so they're still trying to man them up no matter what the amount of numbers Collingwood push back.
Hawks by 4 points. Played nearly 9 minutes in the quarter. Adrian Cox, defensive 40. Just under 14 minutes left. Reece has been excellent tonight. Has the ball at half-back flank. 11th possession coming up. His kick is to Wren, who marks in front of Rocker. At half-back flank.
Well, Collingwood peel back, and they like the long one incoming, and that's where they sit that man behind play.
Dixon under pressure from Clement. Hawks fans wanted a mark. Umpire says throw it in.
So if you short pass against Collingwood, the bulk of their numbers sit back for that long one, and there's the likes of a Jason Cloak or a McKee comes over the top. As the norm.
Rocker into the ruck now. Wren gets the front spot. Rocker used his body, got it out to Burns. They've got the numbers now. Collingwood, it spills out to Scotland. He just gets his kick away inside 50. The battle is on. Out comes Leon Davis. Tarrant is there as well. Lends some support. Leon just paddling the ball. Hawthorn numbers though crunched him. Wasn't room for finessing. He needed to put the body in. And Hawthorn did through Hodge to Leckers at half forward flank. Turns Johnson inside out. Then throws it off. Prestigier come over the ball. Gets it off to Scotland. Scotland now out wide to Lockyer. Collingwood have now got the numbers. Look at this in the goal square. McGough's the man. Up he goes from behind. Couldn't quite take the mark. Goes to ground. He can handball off if he wants. He's twisting and turning. He kicked to the goal square. Good play though by the Hawthorn defence. And Hodge, another first-year player, thumps it through for a point. It's 3 points the difference.
Great work by Nick Holland again there. It looked like McGough. So often players will give a free kick away in that situation, but he was able to effect a spoil.
Crawford wasting no time. Holland. Graham hesitates. Up towards the half-back area. Missed by Cox. Fraser on his knees. Gets a hand pass back towards the attacking 50. McGough slips it away. Cole inside the 50. Too cute. Ball goes back towards the middle. Taken by Chick. Kicks out towards the wing. Buckley will keep it in though. Brown comes at him. Buckley lays it off. Freeborn spots a man towards the middle. Scotland in space. Runs to the centre square, kicks to the opposite side of the ground, going back out there with carriages. Burns. He's marked about 45 metres out, flirts with the idea of going to the square, then decides to go back and take a kick.
Well, he should go back and take the kick. He is an experienced player, and he shouldn't be thinking about anything other than kicking a goal.
Magpies trail by 3, now lead by 3. His second.
Well, they had the ball down there for some time. Good pressure by the Collingwood midfield. You see them sit outside here, and they come down side onto the ball. Scotland's given them a little bit of something. He's given them a bit of run across the ground, and Burns pushes forward. He's come off the half-back flank to do that too, Scotty Burns. So, as I said, they pushed down through the midfield and almost put up the old-fashioned wall then.
So Scott Burns ends a run of 4 consecutive goals for the Hawthorn side. Magpies back in front by 3. Wren gets the tap.
He's jumping before he got possession.
Free kick to Hawthorn coming back as Scotland was about to break away. You can hear the umpire there. It was against Buckley for holding Chick. So Chick in the centre of the ground. He's under 11 and a half. Oh, he flirts here. His kick wasn't good enough to Cox, and Lockyer might make him pay. Lockyer just got a hand on the ball and does it well around the body. Buckley to lend support, but Lockyer finds the boundary line. Will have a throw in. Seem to be asking questions all week this week, but here we go again for the Herald Sun. The trivia competition. Who was the #1 selection in the first AFL National Draft in 1986? Entry coupons are in every Friday's edition of the Herald Sun. I'll give you a hint. I think he played for both these clubs. Throw in. Who was the #1 selection in the first AFL Draft in 1986?
Fraser knocked it down, goes after it. Been pushed in the back. Nothing doing. Ball up.
I got it wrong already.
Starting to think I did too. Yeah. Don't listen to me. Who was the #1 selection in the first AFL National Draft in 1986? That's the trivia competition. I think we're all a bit gun-shy after Tuesday night.
Wren grabs it, kicks down towards half forward. Clement's in the road. With some time, looks to the middle. Now gets a hand pass away. Licuria runs forward of the wing. That's ambitious. Goes over the top to Cole. Look out. Somehow found a passage through. Goes to McGough. The two youngsters combining. McGough lines up and misses near side. Well, how did Cole get through there?
He runs very hard and straight.
Nobody else did.
That is the area of young McGough, and he is a game kid who will take on just about anything, but that's the one area when he cleans up his kicking, he will be dynamic.
Loney concedes some ground close to the boundary line. Graham kept his head over the top to Crawford and worked it out pretty well, very well in fact, up towards the wing. Lekas controls it to his own advantage. Cox on the burst, forward of the wing, probing kick inside the 50, getting back. Wakeland dropped the mark, pressed the Giacomo, covered away to Barlow, 20 metres out, and he's missed. Barlow has put it out of bounds on the full, and that really is inconceivable from there.
And also he had Campbell Brown on his own in the square, who had only moments ago given Chris Barlow one on a platter. So many comments to make here. That's just a shocker.
He's hit the wrong side of the ball.
Let off the hook. The Magpies, who lead by 4 points, coming up to the 15-minute mark. Glenn Freeborn in the back pocket. Inside 10 minutes left in this quarter. Freeborn is going to take them all on and run across. Now, this is going to be dangerous because there's no one to kick
This
to.
kid's quick.
He gets the kick away. And now the race is on. It could come straight back. Lekas versus Clement. Lekas goes to ground. Clement kicked his feet. That is the trick. Clement now on centre wing is usually a good kick. Up towards the forward 50 it goes. Lockyer just pushed Cox underneath the ball. Rocker did well to push it forward. Lockyer now versus Holland. Missed the ball completely, so Cox will get a second go at it. Over the line, out of bounds on the full. And a free kick going to Leon Davis.
He has made some blues tonight, Adrian Cox. I know he's taken some steps in his footy career this year and had some very good games, but gee, he's made some dumb mistakes tonight.
Well, Leon has to wait here because no one back inside the forward 50 for Collingwood. 9th possession.
They're all side on to him. He's got to come side on. No one's prepared to run hard deep in there.
Now he kicks to the lead of Fraser. Diving mark close to the boundary line. First mark for Josh Fraser. Close on the boundary line. Well, right on the boundary line, in fact.
He's played most of the year, as you'd well know, as a marking forward, and tonight with McKee off the ground has had to try and minimise the influence that Wren's had on this game, and so he hasn't been the forward presence that he's been earlier in the year.
Has kicked 30 goals, 15 in season 2002. From the boundary line, Josh Fraser kicks it. It won't make the distance, though, I don't think. Rocker tried to mark on the line, forced through for a rush behind. And the margin now skips out to 5 points. 64 plays 69. We've played 16 and a half in the third term.
Fraser coming off 5 goals last week and 2 hauls of 4 this season in his 30 goals to date. This time last year had kicked 19. Here's Johnson. Magpies around the footy. McGough has to run back and fox it. He's on the wing. Looks down towards half forward. Still ample time. Goes to Scotland. About 80 metres from goal. Hard against the boundary line. Kicks towards the pocket. Coming across and judging it best is Graham. Wants to go and does. Cox. Need to be steady here. Crawford running out of space. Under pressure. Kicks towards half back. Not a bad kick either. Stone. Wren. Well, the big fellows. Illusions of grandeur at half-back. Wren did brilliantly, though. Got it back to Simon Cox. Runs to the wing. Kicks down towards half-forward. Tallis has it 60 metres out.
A lot of room for Campbell Brown at this side of the ground. He's going to kick it out there.
Tallis has got it.
Goes the other way.
What a run on the angle. Now pops short of Brown. Drifting into that hole. There's Brown emerging on the lead behind this man. Dixon will go back and shoot a goal from 40 metres out. Directly in front.
There's no measurement for decision-making in footy, and it's, I tell you, there are a couple of great decisions in this build-up. Sean Wren on the other side, we all laughed and scoffed at him a bit, but he bought his players a little bit of time to get up to him. He knew he couldn't run with a footy, so the little ball and turn back into play allowed Cox and the other Hawthorn runners to catch up with him and carry the ball forward, and then that is a smart decision. The Cox kick inside and this kick to Dixon.
Will it be another lead change right here? Collingwood currently on top by 5 points. Dixon from 45 thumps it long and hard. Hawks back in front.
Simon Cox run from the back line then. If you actually recall, it's Simon Cox that handballs to Shane Crawford in the goal square.
There it is. Sorry, Doom, to jump in. In doing that, it allows Cox there to catch up to him and hand the footy off and then deliver the footy.
But it was Cox who handballed in the goal square, so he's run exceptionally hard there. He might be looking for a bit of a breather soon. Not as punishment. And there's Dixon chipping in.
So Dixon gets his second goal in 5 weeks of footy, and the Hawks lead by a point. Third lead change of the quarter. Wren's had 23 hit-outs, 6 possessions and 2 clearances. Give that one to Fraser. Wren grabs it, though, and gets it out. Dixon, important passage of play here as Tallis goes inside 50. Hawks come out on the lead. Good play by Chick. He tries to chop the tackle. He does. He breaks. He turns. He breaks again. He goes to ground and loses it. Well played, James Clement.
He's quick, Clement himself.
So Clement looks up and sees 1 Magpie and 4 Hawks, so he has a second think about things and decides to kick long. On a long lead is Chris Tarrant. Underneath the ball, Cox did well, pressured him, it came down too easily. Simon Cox just tumbles it forward. And Cloak gets back and takes the mark for Collingwood. It's a point the difference with Hawthorn in front. 6 1/4 minutes left in the third term. Cole gets a ordinary kick from Cloak, but plenty of time to pick up the bounce. Burns leads away. The kick was shallow, though. He has turned it right over. Very, very slack play from Collingwood. It comes back in. Cloak has to stand his ground. A chance for Cole to recover. Wasn't convincing. The kick again. Another chance for Hawthorn. Thompson this time to punish Collingwood. And he kicks his second, and the punishment is complete for slack play.
He actually released the ball too early there. I think it was Cole out of the back line. We'll get a view here. Yeah, he's got space there, and he's got to clear Scotland and his opponent in Leckis. He could have run out to the 50, and Leckis would have withdrawn from him.
He's done it twice, Richard Cole, this quarter. Lazy, leaned back on the footy on the left boot and paid the price for it. So he's got to get a rocket, get him back on board. He's got the big rocket.
So Hawthorn making their move. Cole is off the ground as a result of that poor kick coming out. Scotland finds the ball inside the centre square, chips it out towards the wing. Mitchell leads in the race. Pursued by Loney. Was that a push in the back? No free kick. Loney spins out of trouble on his knees. Interesting handball. Got it to Scotland. Interesting kick. Dixon went over the top of it. Buckley backs out of the pack. But the Hawks have got the numbers. Cox got it to Vandenberg. Up and under. Crawford to Wren. Big fellow jams it on the boot. Gains about 20 metres. Mitchell needs to keep it in. He's surrounded by support. Gets it away to Brown. Brown kicks inside the 50. Bounces over the oncoming pack. Knocked down by Chick. He follows up now, Chick. Gets the ball across to Rees. Back to Chick. 35 metres out. That would have been a lifter. As it is, it bounces on its point. Stays in. Davis relieves a teammate. Runs around the boundary. He of the champagne shoes goes over the top. Bethera stops. He's at left half back. Sends play high towards the wing. Cox is too tall and too strong and takes the mark opposed to Lockyer in the battle of the 24s.
He's on fire, Simon Cox, at the moment.
22nd possession, 23rd.
Back to Cox. Dixon on the wing. Rawlings down towards right half forward. Hawthorn looking dangerous as centering kick. Thompson.
Simon Cox is doing enormous damage across the middle of the ground, so much so that the Magpies are going to have to start thinking about a harder tag on him, because his left foot's starting to hurt them, and he's had it 23 times, I think you said, Dean.
Yep, 23.
And they're just growing in confidence. You can see it. You can see the confidence coming back into this Hawthorn side.
So, the margin at 7 points. They've kicked 6 of the last 7 goals, the Hawks, and really putting their stamp on this game now. Collingwood clinging to them. They need to do more. Thompson. Big kick. Great kick. Gun barrel straight. Hawks on fire.
Third for the quarter for Thompson.
3 goals for the third quarter. You're absolutely right, Ed, and he's just started to loom as a dangerous option, and he's benefiting from some very good Hawthorn coaching by providing dangerous forwards up there that have been versatile in different shapes and sizes. The pressure's gone off Thompson. They're not quite sure who to focus on, who to zone off on. They've had the one-on-one philosophy all night, the Hawks, and it is paying off and paying big dividends.
Hawks have kicked 7 of the last 8 goals. Thompson's kicked 3 for the quarter. 78-56 Hawthorn in front of Collingwood disposals this quarter. Magpies are going to get going. Fraser out of the centre, kicks it long. Tarrant and Rocker have got to start getting the ball, but it's punched away, and it's Adrian Cox who gets it away to Hodge. The Hawks are full of running at the moment. It's a 2-on-1 situation, but the free kick will go against Nick Stone, and it'll go to Cloak at half-back flank for Collingwood.
Just not with the tempo yet. Nick Stone came on for Nathan Loney about 5 minutes ago.
5 goals to 1 for the quarter, Hawthorn's way. Cloak threads the eye of the needle and finds Batheris.
There's the disposals difference. 23 more in favour of Hawthorn.
Buckley, strong lead, takes the mark.
Dixon's actually playing on Buckley in the midfield now.
The kick is out wide, looking for Tarrant. He'll have to take it on the bounce. He does. Over to Burns. Burns on the left boot. Goes short to the pocket. I didn't see what happened there, Derm.
No, it was a good hip and shoulder, but he... Leon.
Look at this bloke.
Leon came from side on. A good shepherd by the umpire there. Yeah, Leon cleaned out Adrian Cox in a bum.
Throw in, 40 metres out from the Collingwood goal.
He gets
Ball
it
in dispute. McGough finds some space. Gets his kick away just. Hawks clear the 50. Scotland comes out, but a beautiful mark is taken there by Barlow.
He wanted that, Chris Barlow.
Barlow and Hawthorn are just getting some midfield run here. Look at this. If the kick's a good one, and it is to Dixon. Just opening up through the middle of the ground. Out wide they go, the Hawks. They've got all the run here. It's Graham inside 50 with a kick. He's looking for Chick. Chick takes the mark. Beautiful kick. Great build-up from Hawthorn.
Gary, you and I on the same thing here.
Exactly. If we could get a camera down the other end, young Chance Bateman is sitting next to Chris Tarrant, who's inside Collingwood's forward 50, and saying, see that bloke Mark Graham out on the wing, who's about 85 metres away from you? He's your man, son. And it's good to see from young Chance, whatever his name is.
Chance Bateman, 13 points the difference here. As Chick comes in, a vital kick. Starts it out wide, it wobbles, it's still in play. Thumped through by Batheris for a rush behind.
Serious ugly on it, that.
Ugly kick.
So the margin, here's the Barlow mark. Really went hard. Both players hard at it, but Barlow just got the extra step in, did it well.
11 possessions to Chris Barlow tonight. Now, this is the one where Collingwood bring it out to a flank, and the person from the opposing halfback flank runs into space. Forward.
Scotland with precision. This is Fraser. Across half-back. Wakelin is on for the short one. He ignores that. Goes to Lockyer, who uses Wakelin. Forward of the wing. Chips it down towards the attacking 50. Campton behind the pack. Holland dropped the mark. Now he's got a problem. Rocker heads for the boundary line. Close to the boundary line. Bateman kept it in. Well done. Loney. Vandenberg. Breaks one tackle. He's out of control. Down he goes. Burns has got it to Lockyer. 60 metres out. Smothered brilliantly by Loney. Knocks it forward. Confronted by Batheris. Went looking for Buckley. They want it more at the moment. Barlow tumbles a kick down towards half forward. Outnumbered is Brown, but you wouldn't bet against him tonight. Brown tackled Down he goes. He's getting a free kick.
Stun footy by Simon Prestigiacomo. They had 3-on-1 Collingwood. They weren't going to get done when Brown went to ground and he grabbed him.
They're everywhere. He didn't get going quick enough.
Short. This is Barlow, 65 metres out. Nobody standing the mark.
Go, son.
No one on the mark. I think Freeborn thought it was coming back.
Barlow, 60 metres out. High ball to the kick-off line. Rawlings flew. Clement, a timely arm on the ball, just knocked it across the line. And things at the moment coming unglued for Collingwood, who trail by 15 points. 12-12, 10-9. Symptomatic, really. A young player like Chance Bateman, 6 seconds to go in this term, suggesting to Chris Tarrant he drinks tea with his little pinky extended at the other end of the ground. Loney. High ball. Again, the Hawks have got the numbers. Tallis flew over the top. The spearman, Barlow in front. On the siren. Terrific turn by the Hawks. They trailed by 8 points at half-time. Their lead now, as you can see, 84-69, but more the way they did it. They were terrific in that quarter, and the Magpies, looking for a spot in the top two, really have the job in front of them. For the final term, Lucuria got a hand pass away. Burns was pushed in the back. He'll get the free kick. And it's early goals. Clement, normally a good user of the football, kicks inside the 50, and Buckley gets on the end of it and could score from here.
One of the things Collingwood is blessed with, and we saw Didak as another inclusion to the club that they've got, club within the Collingwood Footy Club of blokes who can kick goals from outside 50 range, and this bloke's a specialist.
Well, they talk about a skipper's goal. This could well be one. Not exactly. It's marked, none. Off hands and out of bounds in the pocket. Let's get down to the dock.
Yeah, Collingwood starting with Chris Tarrant and Steve McKee on the bench again, Dennis, for this final quarter. McKee been very restricted with the sore back tonight. And Lance Piccioni with the left hamstring, obviously finished for the night for Hawthorn.
Boundary throw in. Rocker hooks it down behind Loney. But ricochets, I think, off Cox and or Lockyer and goes through for a behind.
That contest between Holland and Rocker. The Holland's had 10 possessions, Rocker only the 5, and hasn't really taken any dominant marks up there, so that's a good win by the coaching staff for Hawthorn.
Hawks by 14 points. Cox brings the ball out, does it well though, to the defensive 50. To Crawford. First goal is vital in this quarter of football and the match. To centre wing, Freeborn was beaten, didn't go hard enough at it. As Brown kicks inside the 50, too much finessing, and Prestigiacomo just got his hands on the ball. Reeves, was he tripped? I think he might have been. He'll get the free kick. Will he? Yes, he will. It'll go back. And Reeves will take the free kick. He's kicked 3 goals in his AFL career in 14 games. This is game number 15 for Nick Reeves, the rising star nominee this year. He's had a very good game of football, just grabbed by Prestigiacomo.
A bit stiff there, Presti.
No question, it was a free though.
13th possession.
I'll take my hat off to Campbell Brown again. Won a 50-50 contest to get the ball into a dangerous position.
14 points to become 20. Rees comes in. It's a 20-point lead to the Hawks.
Invaluable players who can just win a 50-50 ball anywhere on the ground, but especially in your forward half. And I think Nick Reeves has been one of the more impressive young players to emerge in recent times for the Hawks, and it continues a long line of young players that are making a mark on this game. There's the free kick. He had him by the foot, no question about it, but it was the play immediately before that with Campbell Brown outside 50 that was impressive.
Hawthorn have kicked out of the last 9 goals, and Collingwood just 1 goal since half-time. One down by Wren. Chick somehow advanced the ball down towards half-forward. Reeves hand pass taken by Crawford. Away to Dixon. They're running hard now. Dixon kicks it down towards the pocket. Thompson! There's going to be a free kick. No, the mark will stand, I think. Thompson, third man in the queue. 3 goals in that third term to turn the game, lining up at his 4th.
Once again, out of the middle. Whoever gets the direct takeaway out of the middle gets the shot on goal. And Sean Wren, he hasn't had big stats, but gee, I tell you what, he's having a massive say in this game.
Football so much about confidence. certainly now the Hawks sky high. Thompson, 25 metres out, kicks through the footy and misses near side. A reprieve for the Magpies. The margin still extensive, 21 points.
Nathan Buckley at centre-half forward is a good move. I think it's a positive move. He could probably still get 8 or 10 touches playing in the middle, and maybe Collingwood won't kick enough goals. But 1 goal since half-time. Play him at centre-half forward. Hope he kicks 2 or 3 and sets another couple up.
Are they robbing Peter to pay Paul? In the middle, though.
Magpies are going to have to go hard at the ball now. Just finessing a bit too much in the last quarter and a half as Atkins takes the mark in the back pocket. Burns is the man who must mark this, and does. Gets to the front at half-back flank. Buckley gives him a lead. Burns puts it up in the air. Buckley to the front. Uses his body beautifully. Almost on the second grab. Picked up though by Tallis. The kick inside is open it right up for Hawthorn. Vandenberg kicks to centre-half forward. Collingwood have the numbers on this occasion. Great play there by Loney, who took the mark and copped one across the chops as well. So Loney at half-back for Collingwood.
Good courage from Nathan Loney.
Clement stubbed his toe as he took the kick out in front of Lockyer. Has to wait an eternity for the ball to bounce up to him. Now he comes back and mucking around the Magpies at half-back with Wakeland.
Well, they've got none of their big guns up forward, those 3 tall forwards who normally present. They've only got 1 up there at the moment.
Wakeland just has to check his run, and kick to Scotland was good football.
So they're going stagnant when they go forward, Ed, and it's all small forward lead stuff, and Buckley's pushing up to both wings. He's going to have to run himself ragged.
Buckley does. Looks inside. Wren goes down with Fraser into the goal square.
Thompson off.
So Buckley now just chipping the ball forward, looking for Fraser, who kept running. That's good football and great patience, and that's 50. Is it? No, touched off the boot, I think, was it?
I don't know how it could have been. Nathan Buckley was 15
Let's
metres.
listen to the umpire.
Touch.
Well, he claims off the boot.
Yeah, touch. No, it's touched.
I'm with you, Josh.
Straight out.
Oh, definitely touched.
We'll get a replay on this in a moment. Collingwood fans, as you can imagine, not impressed. Vandenberg over the line, out of bounds.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
Very, very strange. Let's have a look at this.
Oh, he's clapped his hands. See that? He claps his hands there, and the umpires construed that as a touch on the ball. I reckon that's what he's done there. He stooged the umpire.
Stooged him.
Yeah. It's like sitting in slips and clicking your fingers as the bloke plays and misses.
Watch for tomorrow's footy with 45 players clapping their hands.
Got Alan McGilvray up there. We'll have a look from the... How far off the mark was he?
Far enough, I would suggest. That is a shocker.
Well, it's cost Collingwood a kick on goal.
That is a shocker.
Davis out of the pack. Magpies everywhere. Didak has kicked 4 goals. And Didak's kicked 5.
I think Hawthorn backmen were a little bit like us in the commentary box then, Gary. We were concentrating on that missed mark or non-allowed mark, and they got 3 players goal side of the pack there, Collingwood, so they just about raffled which one was going to kick it.
And I'll tell you what, Alan Didak is he become a valuable player for the Pies. 5 goals is a terrific return. He's got a sharp left foot, knows where they are, and he's got them right back in this game.
Didak's been terrific. 5 goals. Collingwood creep closer, 91-76. Still plenty of time. Wren knocks it down. Burns in the opposite direction. Chick on his knees. Vandenberg fell over. Loney's got it now. Tackled by Cox. A pair of Cox. We'll have a ball up inside the centre square. Watch this again.
Oh, it's relatively close. It's close.
Shut up, Tim.
He clapped prematurely too.
I can't believe he stooged him.
Down goes Lacuria. Cox fell over. Vandenberg wrestled down, got a hand pass away, intercepted by Fraser. A sense of humour sends it back into the pack. Lacuria tied up immediately as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, Nathan Thompson having just massage work, loosening up the hamstring and the calf. So you'd think that's probably a good sign, Dennis, in terms of not torn anything. They should be able to get him back, you'd hope.
Wren spikes it, gained about 15 metres. Scotland flew over the top, thumped it back. Now a chance for Johnson, runs to the 50. Johnson! And kicks a goal. Collingwood back in business. His first of the season.
Well, there are bits of play during a game of footy that can help decide the fate of a game, and there's a simple punch here from Heath, Scotland. Had he allowed Hodge to knock the footy right here, had that gone back Hawthorn's way, Hawthorn had 3 players running onto it and no one between them. Scotland had enough on it to get it forward, and that is the direct result. So you won't get a stat for it, but I'll tell you what, it was critical in the whole balance of this match.
Ben Johnson had kicked 7 behinds until that moment in season 2002. Collingwood coach's box says wipe off 5 on the front. They still have to wipe off 9 on the scoreboard. 14 minutes to go. Wren gets the tap. Fraser gripped his feet, then he went to ground. He got it out over the head of Loney. It spills for Tallis. It's a game of centimetres. Tallis will get it back. He runs to 50, to 45. The kick is on the goal. Up they go. Play on, says the umpire. Almost a mark there to the Hawthorn side. It was Rawlings. Good play by Freeborn. Kept his composure. Out there to Chipper Adkins. Adkins out wide to Lucuria. Defensive 50. Looks up. He's got Scotland on the wing. He kicks it in that direction. Looking for Buckley as well. Got a shove in the back. Got the free kick that time. Play on, says the umpire. It goes out to Scotland. He's 65 out. He kicks inside 50. Didak's the man. Over the head of the pack. It bounces well for Bateman for Hawthorn. He kicks it out wide. Johnson from behind for Collingwood. Gets into the back of his opponent, Loney. Play on, says the umpire. Hard 50-50. Vandermeer and Johnson. Hard out and they win. Didak has another shot at the goal. And he's kicked the point. Didak has kicked 5 goals too. We've got a ball game on our hands at the MCG. 10.5 minutes gone, final term. It's 83-91, 8 points the difference.
This is the contest of the night, right there. Attacking the footy from Vandenberg, and every bit of it met by Johnson.
That's a caught thigh. No doubt in the world. The doc will be all over that like a rash.
Collingwood bring it away. Didak so dangerous on the forward line. Set up the goal for Johnson. Kicked one himself in this term and just narrowly missing right there. Vandenberg taken away though by Scotland. High ball inside the 50. Needs a punch. Cox knocked it down in front. McKee. Lockyer spins out of trouble. Vacant goal square running in Buckley. His first. This is a master stroke.
Well, Doom, you asked the question earlier whether Rob Peter paid Paul by playing Buckley out there, and it's a really fair question to ask. But I think it's an indication of how far this Collingwood side have come. They don't need Nathan Buckley in the centre of the ground getting it 10 times to win games of footy. They've got the likes of Scotland and Lockyer and Lucuria, and Buckley can go down there, provide a target, and now he's got one on the board. So Hawthorn have got their hands full if they're going to stop Collingwood running over the top of them.
Nathan Buckley gets his first goal. Here's the Hawthorn box. Swabby on the phone, giving the instructions, and it's a 2-point ball game. Hawthorn in front, plenty of time in this game. Back in the centre of the ground. Fraser gets the centre break. Tackled beautifully by Cox. Play on. Chick tries to crash through. Here's a chance now for Adkins. Chipper around the body, up towards half forward. Out comes Didak and off the ground on the full. Went Hodge. Free kick to Collingwood. Burns runs down. He gets the kick. The kick is up to Burns. He takes the mark. Buckley waits for it over the top. Burns just holds his composure. Leon Davis leads. The kick is on to Leon Davis and Lockyer. From behind it spills. Leon Davis is there with a tackle. Leon in game number 50. Tries to get the handball out. McKee. McGough. Point. Goal! McGough kicks the goal. Magpies back in front.
Well, the reason the Pies are getting the goals at the moment is they're simply winning the ball at the contest. In the last 5-6 minutes, I don't think Hawthorn have really had a definitive disposal.
And you've got to say, Dermot, when we questioned the fact that Burns was on the interchange bench and Buckley before half-time, just what the rationale was, well, the rationale might have been this very scenario. They needed run in the last quarter. They knew that Hawthorn were a fit side, and all of a sudden Burns is getting it, Buckley's getting it. This bloke here, McGough, has been terrific all night. They've been inside 57 times, the Pies. Hawthorn just 3 for the quarter.
Costly miss by Nathan Thompson early on in the quarter.
Magpies have got the last 4 goals. What a transformation. Fraser doing well in the middle. Kicks them down towards half forward. Buckley helps the ball on its way. Magnificent 25 metres inside the 50. Didak at number 6. Charge down. Well done by Holland. Didak goes again. That's holding the ball surely. Holland to get the free. Will advantage be paid.
Wasn't earlier.
Come away around the outer side. This is Lekis. metres in the clear. A couple of bounces. He runs up towards the wing. High ball towards the attacking 50. Cloak could have marked. Thumped away. Prestigiacomo in trouble. Clement close to the boundary line. Looks for the boundary line. Coming up though, Fraser with other ideas across the body. Delicately. Got it to Lockyer. Clement steps around Wren. Kicks down towards half forward. Wonderful kick. Scotland's got the ball 65 metres out. Suddenly, a spark of energy surging through these Magpies. Kicks to Davis. Dropped the mark. Could have been tripped. Down he goes. Tellers over the top. Spills across to Bateman. Found a path through. Jams it on the boot. Back towards midfield. Fraser misjudged it. Cloak two. Hacked out of there by Leckis. Leading back is Prestigiacomo. Socket up the ground. Wren and Prestigiacomo. Eventually it falls back to Clement, dragged down. Prestigiacomo moved it about 10 metres. Vandenberg, he could have been pushed to the back, no free kick. Prestigiacomo comes away. Now the Magpies on a roll. Around the outer side, Scotland, beautiful kick. That kick had eyes. Davis is away. Kicks from about 45 and misses near side. Electrifying passage of play right there. Collingwood lead it by 5 points.
Nathan Thompson has to go into the ruck now because Josh Fraser has produced the best quarter of ruck play for Collingwood and had a big hand in taking the ball out of the centre.
Leon Davis, 1 goal, 3 in his 50th. The kick, a 2-on-1 situation here. Hard play by Didak, but it released Dixon, who went without the ball. Was he grabbed? No, says the umpire, but he gets it a second time and runs away. Dixon on the left foot inside 50. Thompson has the sit from behind. Wakeland did well. Thompson had a second go and the umpires paid it.
Wouldn't mind having another look at it. Looked to me like it might have made contact with the ground on Nathan Thompson, but here we go. Soon tell.
Got the first grab and no mark. 8th mark.
Very fortuitous.
9.5 minutes left in the game.
That's a poor option.
Well, it's got a clean bowl. Everyone though who wants it. It went through about 5 different players' hands. Fraser in the end clears the 50, but it's going to come back. Brown is there. No, the boundary line comes first. 9 minutes and 22 seconds of play left. Hawthorn 91 need to win to have any hope of making the finals, you think. Collingwood 96 to assure themselves of a finals berth and maybe a top 4 position. Throw in everything on the line between these two great clubs, Hawthorn and Collingwood. Board members are plenty in the commentary booth. I can tell you the heart rate's going hard here, Dermot.
There we go, Ed.
Wren got a head to it. Hand pass comes from Barlow to Leckis. And the Hawks get back in front. Leckis from outside the 50. I hope somebody clapped. Dixon takes the mark, but he knows he's going to be penalised. And a free kick will go to Collingwood in the square to be taken by Clement. Clement driving kick out of defence. Big leap at the back. Crawford, 75 metres from goal.
Good
the
quarter
cream.
footy.
Oh, Wren's free.
The cream is coming to the top now. Vandenberg.
Well, Richie's still suffering from that cork 5. He's calling somebody to go past him. He's not going to get the journey here with the kick.
Well, Loney's the one on the left.
Exactly.
They should know.
Nathan Loney was lurking next to Thompson earlier, and I reckon Thompson should have handed off to him. He's got a lot of room to work in. Campbell Brown should just nick off from that 50-metre line.
Yes.
Ship it on here.
Vandenberg. Well, he's defying all of us and kicks from right on the 50. And he may have done the job. Now, right on the line, I think Wakeland got a fist on it. He did. So the margin is back to 4 points.
Even more reason.
He's hobbling off. Let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, certainly Richie Vandenberg straight to the bench. We know he got that left cork thigh, as Dermy called it earlier, and probably knew his limitations, struggling to run. Also Nathan Thompson with a left groin strain.
Wren back inside 50. The kick out was ordinary. And Barlow has got the mark. Now, Barlow has had a great night tonight. He has kicked 2 goals, 2.
14 possessions.
In better hands. I know that. This fellow who's kicked
Angles right, Chris.
very well.
Yeah, Collingwood was still on the attacking move from full back, but the kick wasn't good enough from Lockyer. He comes in. Just to put the Hawks back in front. He wobbles it off the boot, but it's wobbled right through the middle, and Hawthorn go back in front at the 18.5-minute mark.
No, it's a good game of footy. It is a good game of footy right now. And the centre bouncers Josh Fraser is really stepping up and showing us the sort of footy player that he will continue to be. And his turn around, Sean Wren, was fantastic for the first 3 quarters, but he's just starting to tire. And it's Thompson that will contest in the middle of the ground against Fraser, and that had to happen. Big Shawnee Wren had done as much as he could have done for the night.
2 points the margin. If you think back to last season, I think Peter Schwab had a heart scare at about this time of the year. He told his doctor he would take it easy. There's Mitchell out of the middle, floats it down towards half forward. Dixon goes across and takes the mark.
Rawlings is pushed forward. He's got to go for the lead kick, though.
High ball. Rawlings from behind. Hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Wakeland found it on the deck somehow. Dug it out. Atkins comes back to Prestigiacomo.
Danger.
High ball close to the boundary line. Out of bounds, I'd suggest, on the full. It was. Hawthorn descended back in. Clock stops at 7:07, as you can see. Hawks by 2 points. Ben Dixon. The Hawks with their backs to the wall. And he's up against the fence. They've got to win tonight.
Not sure they'll pinpoint a pass at this stage, so top of the square.
So much for that idea. Goes deep to the pocket.
Well, that's the problem of trying to pinpoint when there's traffic. You're going to turn it over. You might as well go long, get a contest at the top of the square.
He's had a great last quarter, Josh Fraser.
Been terrific. This is Freeborn running it up. Goes back to Fraser. Men outside. Elects to kick it. Floats it to Freeborn. Was that 15? Yes. He's got it up towards right half back.
Still got to go man on man, the Hawks. They can't rely on just Collingwood kicking the ball to them down the other end of the field.
Hawthorn by 2 points. Freeborn sends it high towards the wing from behind Tallis. Knocked it forward, close to the boundary line. Cox. In goes Johnson. It's out of bounds as we go down to TJ.
Yeah, Hawthorn problems in the big man department. Sean Wren absolutely spent on the bench at the moment. And as you heard the doc say, Nathan Thompson a little proppy as well.
As a result, Rawlings will do the ruck work against Josh Fraser. Tallis grabbed it out of the ruck with a bounce.
I don't think that's a bad move either from Hawthorn's point of view. Thompson has gone to the goal square, waving to the bench at the moment. So Rawlings just should run and tag Fraser for the rest of the night.
Pretty good crowd in tonight. 53,750 are seeing the thriller. Here's a chance for Hawthorn. Mitchell, he kicks wide and it bounces just inside. So this is an important throw in. It'll go to the top of the square pretty much with 6 minutes left on the clock. It's Hawthorn by 2 points. 4 goals to Collingwood this quarter, 2 to the Hawks.
Great pick up by Luke Hodge in that heavy traffic under pressure.
Loney off and Betheris on. Throw in. 35 metres out from the Hawthorn goal.
No ruckman there. There's no ruckman at this. McGough's going to have to go against Chick.
So they're all up. No one down in the end. Almost a free kick to Lucuria. Chick picked it up, went backwards, found Cox, who's a beautiful kick. Simon Cox, left foot, snap is going to be across the face. High flyers needed, up they go. Thump through for a rush behind to Hawthorn. That's their 5th of the night. And the score reads Hawthorn 14-15-99, leading Collingwood 14-12-96. We've got 5 3/4 minutes left on the clock with James Clement with the ball in his hand for Collingwood.
Needs to be precise here to himself. Now there's a man on long towards the wing. That's Betheris. He spotted him. Gets it to him. Mitchell came back, conceded the free. Betheris, quick hands. Atkins, who started on the bench, runs down towards right half forward. Kicks well inside the 50. Going back, McKee. Fisted away by the defence. Holland out of bounds. Boundary throw in as we go to the dock.
Yeah, Ryan Loney came off suffering from mild concussion, Dennis. He took a heavy hit about 5 or 6 minutes ago when he got that free kick for the head hit. Tried to run around, but obviously still not quite switched on.
End-to-end football. Hawthorn 14-15. Collingwood 14-12. Boundary throw in. Deep in attack for the Magpies.
Buckley's good at these clearances, and Neon Leon's danger.
Graham came hard, thumps it back towards the boundary. Bateman put the body in. It's out again.
Thompson couldn't. There was no ruck. You called the no ruck contest down the other end. He's carrying an injury, Thompson. I reckon that he'd have to get off at some stage and Wren back on if Hawks are going to hold on here.
Thrown in yet again. Fraser clean possession. Dispossessed immediately. Lucuria couldn't control it. Mitchell went in. Spills to the back of the pack. The right man's got it. Lucuria gave it to Buckley. Manufactured some space. Sets it up towards the square. Opposite pocket. Awkward bounce from one camp to the other. Crawford's away. Up towards right half back. A second bounce. McGough in pursuit. Crawford knows he's there. Still he goes. Carries it up to the wing. Settles now. Miscues with a kick, but still got it to Brown. 55 metres out. Waiting for it is Cox. Cloak came back, but not in time. Cox steps around. Snaps a goal. Body blow for the Magpies.
What a run by Shane Crawford. He called it. He knew his opponent was there, and he took it on himself. And I was quoted today as saying I didn't think there was enough blokes in the team that had leadership. Well, he's got it written all over him, Shane Crawford. He just said, I'm going to run this the journey, and I'm taking on anyone who wants to chase.
We know what an athlete he is. We know he does the 400 metres in amazing times. And Mark McGough is a terrific young kid, but I reckon Shane Crawford summed that up. Not a great kick by Campbell Brown, that one.
He pulled the kick in the air to try and get it at Cox, but he just gave it too much height.
Yeah, sat it up in the air, and Cox was good enough. He's had a great night, Simon Cox. What a pickup he's been for the Hawks. Possession number 26 for the evening.
So the Hawks answer with 2 quick goals, and with 4.5 to go, they lead by 9 points. Collingwood will have to kick 2 to win it. Mitchell out of the centre for Hawthorn. They're going the right way now. Dixon over the top. Here's Cloak for Collingwood. Just squeeze it around the body. Scotland is the man. Which way will it sit? It sits nicely for Tallis, who crunched through. Needed a tackle, not a bump. Cox, who's been dynamite tonight. Simon Cox on the left boot. He's turned this one over, but he gets a favourable bounce. It spills out the Rees, out the Leckers. 45 and closing from the boundary line. This will bring the house down for the Hawks. If it's a goal, it's a mark. Right on the last line.
Great effort.
Freeborn.
A great kick and a great save.
Brings it out to Burns. Collingwood have got to get going. Fraser's loose on the wing. The kick is up that way. Fraser comes across, takes the mark, looks up. The skipper is on. Umpire's called play on. He goes backwards to Scotland. Scotland looks up. He goes towards Buckley. Now it's going to bounce in front of Lockyer. Push to the boundary line. Umpire says throw it in with 3.5 on the clock.
Oh.
Here it is right here. That's a good save by Freeborn.
Throw in half forward flank. Hawks leading by 9 points. 3.5 minutes left. You'll see the exact time. There you go, 3:36. Fraser goes up, gets the tap. Good play by Graham.
Good vision.
Throws it out. Crawford back to Chick. High up and under. This is an important ball. Out comes Cloak. Takes the mark. Cloak for Collingwood has got Buckley on in the pocket. He kicks down to Buckley, and Buckley has got away and taken the mark. They kicked one from here last week against Carlton. The skipper has kicked 1 goal for the night. He'll need to kick this 50 metres.
First error by Simon Cox tonight. He let Jason Cloak lead him to the ball in the centre of the ground, and he picked it off very well, Cloak.
Huge kick for both clubs in the season from 50. Buckley nurses it onto the boot, and the skipper has hit the post.
Gee, that's a good hit off the boot, Gaz.
He's one of the. He'd be the bloke you back from there in that situation. He's a super kick. I tell you, I take my hat off to Shane Crawford. I'm a massive Lacuria fan, but I reckon he's just worked him into the ground and got on top of him.
8 points the margin. Little 1-2.
Could do this the rest of the night.
Too early to start this. 2 minutes 40. There's enough time to kick 3 goals.
There is, but whilst there was no one there, I didn't think it was too dangerous. Now's the time to go down the line.
Loney and Rawlings working that ball about. This is Hodge.
Yeah, he can pinpoint it, this kid.
Still enough time for Collingwood to win this, but Hawthorn pretty canny at the moment. Rawlings.
Sometimes if you do start this early, it does sap the opposition of their will to actually run hard and man up.
This has been good stuff, though. This has been time-consuming, and
well, Collingwood allow you to run to the ball carrier and get the short one because they like numbers 50 metres plus down the line.
Take it now!
nobody standing the mark. Dixon sends it long. And it's been low risk as well. Now they kick to a contest. Burns, clever hand pass. Freeborn. Scotland's away. Chance for a counter punch for the Magpies. Scotland towards half forward. How will it bounce?
Free kick for holding.
It's going to be a free kick to Davis.
Back here!
He's got the ball forward of the wing. Down towards half forward, in effect.
Josh Fraser's going to outsize his opponent.
Not a good kick, though. And Rawlings backed himself, coming across on the angle. And you get the feeling now the Hawks are going to win this game.
Well, Leon Davis, he had to realise and sum that up that Rawlings was in the vicinity. He really had to give it some height and give Fraser a chance, at least in a marking contest.
Gutsy performance by the Hawks. Losing Jonathan Hay before the start, riddled with injury. And only this morning David Parkin doubted their ability to make the finals. Well, they've come out and they've showed everybody in the football world as Lekas comes back to Crawford. Short. Mitchell is at right half back inside the last minute. The margin 8 points. Crawford's got it. He'll just go back and take his kick. He stands where he marked the football. Comes across to Rawlings. He's fattened his stats in the last couple of minutes.
I think he's doubled them.
I think he has too.
Really well coached, I reckon, Hawthorn tonight. I think their preparation's been spot on.
I get to see Hawks a lot, as you would expect, Gary. I would think this would be perhaps Peter Schwab's best coaching performance tonight.
Scotland over the top, knocked it down. Lockyer to Clement. And see the time, we're down to 12 seconds now. It needs a Collingwood mark, and even then I don't think it will be time enough. Rees comes away, and this one's in the book as Rees tumbles it back towards the wing. An upset on Friday Night Football. Scotland's got it. Collingwood go down to the Hawks, who celebrate. Handshakes all round. And Hawthorn 15-15. Have defeated Collingwood 14-13. The Magpies came back to lead in the final term after they certainly had their chances to blow it apart before half-time. In a big third term by Hawthorn really set this victory up when they put it 5-3 to 1-4. And that man must be feeling delighted as the Warrior hobbles out onto the MCG. Tony Woods.
Well, it would mirror the sort of effort that you would have got from Tony Woods at any stage during his career, and this is a very meritorious victory. Season on the line against a side coming off a 108-point victory who were in very, very good form. They had to come from behind. They were down at half-time. And some players in this side really stepped up in the absence of a big star, Jonathan Hay. It was a great win.
Let's go down to Tony Jones. He's with Daniel Chick, who had 17 possessions tonight. Was a great player.
Yeah, 17 possessions for number 17. What a terrific night for you, mate.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's just great to have a win. We've been out of the pump, and all the boys have, and we've been competent. But it's a better effort tonight.
Yeah, geez, under the pump, that's an understatement. I mean, every game's an elimination for you blokes. This is your first one, and you've come through with flying colours.
Yeah, it's not the ideal way to try and get into the finals, but, you know, it's been up and down. But if we can just keep finishing off, well, you know, anything can happen.
You've had a few things go against you. Even your director of football doubted whether you could make the finals. Surprised by that word?
No, it's fair enough. 4 and 4, and we've got 4 teams that are in the 8. So it's going to be tough, and he's right to have his opinion.
Well, you're going to enjoy looking back on this match, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Good on you. Daniel Chick joining us there, Ed. It's going to be a pretty good feeling in the rooms, I think, as they cheer Tony Woods off.
Yes, emotional scenes here. Now, well done to Tony Woods. He was part of a very emotional build-up to this game. Dermot Brereton, you said before the game that Peter Schwab gave one of the great orations in the afternoon build-up, and then there were tears in the rooms as Tony Woods gave his final speech to his former comrades in arms.
Yeah, David Parkin said in his 30-something years of footy, or even more, he said Peter Schwab's speech to the players was one out of the box. And then Tony Woods, when he spoke to the team early on, came out. They had tears in his eyes, and the blokes were steely when they came out. And then Schwabby, unusually, for the last little G up before they come out onto the ground for the final time before the game, Schwabby stood outside that little coaching room and let Woodsy just give them one more little bit of what football can mean to your life there. And I'm getting a bit choked up watching Woodsy there, because he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's an emotional kind of guy, and this would mean the world to him.
173 career games, 13 with Fitzroy, 18 with Collingwood, and 142 for the Hawks. 36 career goals. A fantastic effort for Tony Woods. He's finished in the top 6 in the Hawthorn best and fairest for the 6 previous years, and was runner-up amongst it as well. Well done to Tony Woods. Well done to the Hawks tonight. They're still alive in season 2002 by defeating Collingwood by 8 points, 15-15, 105 to the Magpies, 14-13, 97.